Hello Internet, welcome back to the Fast Travel Lounge. You're listening to episode 117. My name is Patrick, I'm joined by Seth, say hi.
Yeah, hello.
And Steve, idiot, says what?
Hey.
Idiot says hey?
Should have made it harder on him.
Yeah, I really should have. I don't think we've done a recording since your cheeky half marathon.
Oh, we haven't. I completely forgot about that. I did one.
Yeah.
I'm better than every single person on this podcast.
Well, statistically, that's not true.
I'd say
Have you
bottom
guys done a half
third.
marathon? Have you guys done a half marathon? Like an actual? Did you guys get a half marathon medal? 'Cause I did, and I'm looking at it right now. Thoughts?
I'm also
Those
looking
aren't
at
that
your
hard
half
to
marathon
get.
medal right now.
Yeah, we'll do a half marathon. People who can't do a half marathon say what? So you guys can do one. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I have done several. I just, you know what? I don't need the validation that comes from a medal. I just do it for the love of the game, really.
The love of the game. Yeah, okay. I do it for the love of the medals, to be honest.
Yeah, like the number of people. Whenever I do like any longer than you'd expect distance run, they were like, "Oh, is there like an event on?" Like, no, I just did it. And like, oh, why? Fuck, do I need a
Gotta do
reason?
something to pass the time.
Yeah. I accidentally didn't die in my sleep again, so I got to do something with the day.
Alternatively, I was going to work, but then I thought I'd rather go for a run.
I mean, if those are the options, I'd genuinely take
100%.
running.
I'm always gone for a run.
Yeah. Anyway, how was it?
Marathon,
How'd it go?
No, it was good. It was good. Weather was really nice. There was a bit of a choke point for the first 2 kilometers, so it was just my rage that fueled me. For about the first 5 kilometers, I was like, you know what? How hard could a full marathon be? Then I got up to kilometer 15, and I'm like, you know what? Suicide is a good option.
Yeah,
and
it's really funny watching pace just die when you get towards the end of a half, and you're like, oh yeah, this is the half. What do people do for the full?
Yeah, and the last kilometer was probably a 45-degree incline.
Up or down?
It was fucking, fucking atrocious. It was so bad, and because Melbourne's very flat, the whole course is pretty flat, except around about the 12. Well, around about the 12-13K mark, there's a little bit of a couple hills. And then at the end, it's just a fucking vertical, and everyone is less just a little bit longer. But then you try to lock in and just propel yourself forward, but you can't because it's so fucking no good. But no, I did. I finished it. I wanted to get under 2 hours. I did get under 2 hours, an hour 58:45, I think. But I'm glad I did it. I probably will not ever run again, but you get that in the big job sometimes.
Yeah, fair enough. Final question: who asked?
You did.
Oh yeah, show me the evidence. Show me the transcript. Pics or it didn't happen.
Pics or it didn't happen.
Yeah, pics or it didn't happen.
I'll be able to
Pics
find
of me or it didn't happen.
Oh, okay. Easy. I'm glad I've got a couple of pics for you I want to share, Pat.
Yeah. Here's one of you from your closet, and here's another one of you from your closet, and
He's from you from behind. He's behind your head. He's
Steven
from
in the
one
closet,
from me in
eh?
the bushes.
yeah, here we go.
All right, move on. We had a laugh. We had a lot of good laughs here tonight on Fast Travel Lounge.
Final actual question: did you celebrate a Krispy Kreme?
No, I didn't. I got.
Boo, this man. What was
Did
the
you get a
point?
whole
What was even
carbonara
the
dinner
point?
beforehand?
No, yeah, I did. I had a whole 2 kilos, not even liters, 2 kilos of spaghetti carbonara at 6 a.m. in the morning.
And then a 1.5 liter of chalky milk.
Oh god, I did have about because they're giving out the free Musashi protein chocolate milks, and I was that thirsty, and I had to wait for some other friends to finish 5K, which started after mine. And I think I
was
had
going to say you're running half in 2 hours, and your friends are just like, yeah, it's going to be a struggle to get there in less than 2, buddy.
But they were giving out the 3 Musashi milks, and I had 3 of them in 5 minutes. So there was probably a good 45 minutes where I was just 70% chocolate milk, and I felt so fucking nauseous. Because I was dehydrated. I smashed one. I'm like, fuck, that's good. I smashed another one.
Yeah.
And I got halfway through the third one, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll take it easy. And then I finished the other half 30 seconds later, and I stood up, and you had too much water, and you can feel your body slosh around. It was like that.
See, I did something similar after my half with the New Zealand equivalent Up and Go, but I only had 2 on me, so I was just
we have Up and Goes as well.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
okay, cool. I wasn't sure.
here.
But I get through 2 and I go...
It's fucking Weebix, it's ours.
Hold on.
Stolen valor.
Okay, you know what? Stop the pod. Nah, we've done 117 of these. Nah, this is where I draw the line.
Good, I've stopped recording.
No, I smashed 2 of them, and I'm in that zone where like, fuck, I could go for a 3rd one, but I just didn't have one, so I never hit the slosh limit, so I was good.
2's not enough, 3's too much.
Yeah, exactly. There's too much dip for my chip versus too much chip for my dip. The eternal struggle, the duality of man.
Suicide's always an option.
Anyway, next time you do it, do 1 Krispy Kreme per kilometer for the 21Ks.
You know what? Yeah. An easy challenge.
Sweet.
Do that,
and
do that normal. You know what? I'll do that without the half marathon.
Okay, now we're talking.
Finally,
do it as a team challenge, double or nothing. Anyway, we are going to move on. We got a Steamcharts this week, and I bet you guys are asking, say it with me, how many people are playing Exoprimal? The answer might surprise you.
I reckon it's higher than what I thought it was, but I can't remember what I said last time. So I reckon 150.
All right, 150. Cool. Seth, throw a number out. What are we thinking? Exoprimal.
27.
Okay. Well, you're both wrong. You both went over.
Oh no.
Oh no.
18 people are playing an hour ago, 42 people, 24-hour peak.
That's
womp womp.
Ladies and gentlemen, Death Store.
Yeah, womp indeed.
Second question.
7.
Have you heard of the game American Truck Simulator?
7.
Yes, I have actually.
I stand by my answer. Yeah, I have, yeah.
Okay. How many
I
people
saw
do you think
VTubers driving badly in it.
There's a lot to unpack in that statement that I'm just going to gloss over and flesh out of my mind. How many people do we think are playing the American Truck Simulator demo?
Demo, hey?
Is it like a new 2025 version that was just released? Is that what you're trying to say?
Genuinely can't tell. When did it come out? Okay, so the Steam chart numbers... Okay, nope. This is not a recent game. The Steam chart numbers go back to February 2018. 2016, my bad.
The demo.
The demo. Oh, you know what? I'll even give you the all-time peak. 1,200 people were playing this at the all-time peak.
But how long ago was the
all-time
all-time
peak? Thank God you gave me the peak because I was going to guess over that. 564.
When was that peak? Hang on. Whoa, Seth. Hang on. Got to make him sweat a little bit. How long ago was the all-time peak?
Good question. Facticulating. It was...
Not a word?
When it came out, February 2016. That was the peak.
See, I fucking knew it was going to be there. I reckon it's like 15 or something.
564.
Cool. So, Steve takes that point. 114 people playing. I wanted to compare how many people are playing random demos versus Exoprimal, the full game. The answer is that most people are playing demos right now more than Exoprimal. Man, kicking a dead dinosaur cybernetic futuristic cyberpunk PvE game when it's down, am I right, fellas?
Yeah, sure.
Just when you think it's... Why has nobody made the Exoprimal extinction joke yet?
I'm sure they have.
I'm literally the first person to do it. I'm not smart enough to complete the joke, but there's something in there.
There's something in there. Yeah.
Not like there's anything in Exoprimal, I guess.
Well, certainly not like there's any players in there.
There's 17 in there. Remember, you just said that.
Imagine if you need a full lobby to like start a game.
You don't even know how many is in a lobby.
You
don't know anything about these games. You're just shitting on this game. Poor Exoprimal, he's just doing its best out there. And I look
at
the world's greatest
podcast
is shitting on it.
And I see 17 people playing, and I'm going, that's a prime number. If everyone has to play online, someone isn't getting into a game.
7 people aren't.
That's so much worse.
I'm pretty sure it's a 5v5 scenario.
Oh no. I got one more Steamcharts to look up, actually, doing this on the fly. Just because I'm curious.
Is it Suicide Squad? Like
no, actually, shit, that would have been another good one to look up.
rats.
Okay, no, I'm about to eat my whole entire ass. I was going to make a joke about Overwatch 2 having the same issue. Nope, 25,000 people playing that at the moment. What was the other one? Suicide Squad. Let's see that one.
Well, they recently announced that Overwatch... Oh, no, the news. They've got the Overwatch in the news.
Wow. Closer than I would have thought. 163 currently playing Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. That means this is going to blow your mind that there are roughly as many people playing the American Truck Simulator demo as there are playing Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
As God intended.
Is that the benchmark? Oh, well.
Imagine the benchmark of that.
Look, as long as they're all consenting adults and whatever they do in their free time is their free time.
Everyone shut up. I have an
yum.
even better stat. There is one person playing Suicide Guy VR. Thank you for coming to my TED
Do I want to know what that game even is?
Dropping a toaster into a bath.
I'm assuming it's the VR version of Suicide Guy where there are 11 people playing currently.
Suicide Guy. Fuck.
Never heard of this game. Anyway, we're going to move on. But yeah, that was a fun
9
trip.
9 out of 10 on Steam, but 1.5 out of 5 on Google Play. What the fuck?
Cool.
The Suicide Guy collection for the Nintendo Switch? What?
This is a rabbit.
I'll just...
Yeah, this is a rabbit hole that I'll let you go through in the background. So, other than running a half marathon, actually, this is going to suck. So I'm going to ask, what did we do this week? But I think it might just be easiest if I say, we just found out that we've all seen Deadpool. What's the actual title?
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Wolverine? Deadpool and Wolverine? Is that the full title?
Yeah.
Nah, Deadpool 3, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, okay. That sounds better. Yeah, so turns out we've all seen that. So
the
that's
sequel to
going to be...
Suicide Guy is Suicide Guy Sleeping Deeply. What the fuck, man?
By the way, Patrick, don't forget to say colon after Deadpool 3.
Ah, true. Yeah. I don't want Steven coming for my colon. I really hate that
Still
I said
funny,
that out of context
3 years
now.
later. Legends colon Arceus. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that's funny. The one. That's the one. He said the line, but have we been up to anything else? I'll go first. The Remnant 2 DLC is amazing, but I don't know if I will talk about that this week because I'm still playing through it. So Deadpool Wolverine will probably be my focus. We'll see if we have time, though. We'll see what happens. Seth, anything else that you've been up to this week?
Hold on. Let me check my timetable.
What does it say?
I've been busy doing fan animation.
In between gooning and cleaning the goon cave, any other time slots?
Yeah, no, I've been busy doing an animation project, so I've done nothing else.
What's the animation project?
You'll see when it's done.
He's edging us. He's edging us in Ohio with a phantom tax.
This isn't the goon cave anymore, it's the edge cave.
You know what? I don't like it when you lean into something like that. Just take
I don't want to clean up any mess, so I got to keep it in.
Okay, all right.
Red flag, pausing play. Gonna go to the TMO for that one. Thank you for that, Seth, and that horrendous mental image that I conjured up. Steve, other than taking L's, have you been up to anything else this week?
Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine. And I slayed in Dungeons of Hinterberg, and let's see if we get time with that. That's actually a very, very rare thing for us because the game only came out like a week and a half ago.
Yo, that's crazy. Well, sadly, I'm pretty sure Deadpool Wolverine came out more recently than Dungeons of Hinterberg, so that will be the one that takes precedence first. So I guess we'll get into some Deadpool chat. Probably worth putting just a rather large spoiler warning now. I don't know if we'll actually go into spoilers, but just in case we do, consider this a spoiler warning. So if you just pause all the TikToks that you have on in the background and just look down at the time codes on whatever you're reading this on, listening to this on rather, skip ahead to the next non-Deadpool section, probably best for you.
You can just edge on mute for the next 20 minutes.
Or that. Right. So Deadpool 3. I don't really know.
Holy shit! What a fucking great movie. I'm calling it next.
Absolute
One of the movies
cinema.
all time. So good. Holy
it's so
shit.
good that NSYNC's YouTube page had to change Bye 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 to say it's the official song from Deadpool.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy
Jesus.
shit, that's amazing.
I've been holding that in all day for you guys to reveal on here.
I can't believe between gooning and cleaning the goon cave, he's been gooning facts as well.
Okay, the jokes. I'm done.
Bye
with.
Bye Bye has been stuck in my head since the beginning of that movie.
It is very good. It is very good.
I saw a
The whole
YouTube
intro
short that
series
says,
is very good.
I feel seen as a millennial Marvels fan. between
it's
that,
actually appealing to us.
There's that. There's what's the song? The one when they're in the Odyssey on the road trip music.
Good chat, man.
Why can't I remember the song? Anyway, it's basically just like a quick sprint through of just a bajillion millennial references. Oh yeah, there's the screenshot. Thank you for that, Seth.
You're welcome.
That's very funny. I'd be really curious to see the view, the analytics on that, because it's doing 360 million views, 370 million views. Posted 14 years ago. I'm curious how much of that is the last week.
The comment section got revived after 7 years.
I bet. I guess the comment section's no longer going bye bye bye, am I right?
Hey.
It's going high.
Indeed. Hey. Okay, yeah, so had a really strong opening. I was lucky enough to see it as part of a work function type thing. And
Man, my work function was the Marvels. I want a refund.
Hey, my previous work function was Ant-Man 3. I wanted a refund.
You know what? Fair.
And you know what was even
speaking
funnier?
of Ant-Man 3 as well,
Exactly.
They recently announced that the next Avengers movie is just going to wrap up the King the Conqueror saga. They're 100% going to kill all of them off in the beginning of that movie.
Yep. I was also going to say that it's funny that I sort of did get my revenge in that Ant-Man's fucking skeleton was used as a plot point in Deadpool 3.
Yeah, but I think that was just the. Oh, actually, no, the bones were there as well. But we can just talk about random thoughts that come into our head, and let's have a bit of structure for a bit of a change, fellas.
Whoa, hang on.
Deadpool 1 structure.
Episodes. Yeah. See,
Right,
this is the
saying
part of the
things
discussion where Deadpool would actually turn to the camera and then say something funny.
What would he say? Like what? Say something funny right now, big fella.
I'm Ryan Reynolds. That's what he'd say, and everyone in the cinema would just lose their minds.
Yeah, all right. You win this round.
Okay, off the bat, where do we put it relative to the other two films in the series?
Still debating on that one, but I think I might put it first out of the three of them.
I think it's only the best because it's so meta. It knows what it's trying to do, and it's number two. I hit or miss. Number one was really good, but this one knows it's found its stride. It knows what it wants to do, and it kind of is able to take all of Marvel's previously shit movies and somehow reference that Marvel isn't doing too well, and somehow make that into a good thing. And it also self references itself with all the fucking different, the 20th Century Fox licensing problems. Just all that self-referencing, I think, makes it the best. It knows everything about itself, and just having that self-awareness makes it funnier.
Not just the self-awareness of itself, but going deep spoilers now, it's like a actual good love letter to the Fox era of Marvel movies.
It is, yeah.
So,
and even in the post-credit scene where it's the outtakes from the X-Men movies from the 2000s, that was very fucking heavy callback.
Yeah, and there's a whole meta-narrative going on, if we didn't do this movie, all of Fox's licensed movies just would be forgotten to the wayside, and I really appreciate that meta-narrative that was going on, because I have a soft spot for those movies. They're bad, but I remember as a child enjoying Daredevil and the old X-Men trilogy, And even the Blade movies were pretty good, except for the third one. And
yeah, and it's interesting how, like, because I saw this movie and was like, oh, cool, Deadpool and Wolverine. It's going to reference like a little bit of the X-Men movies and like the Wolverine, kind of like Wolverine Origins and Logan or whatever it's called. But then, yeah, it brings up like what the Elektra movie talks about, like the Blade trilogy. Like it does reference.
They even bring up the Fantastic Four, which was when they did that. I think I was the only person in my cinema that laughed, and it was one of those gasp laughs that's like, I can't believe they did that sort of thing.
So
yeah,
when you're there as like a work function with a bunch of people that are like, I'm towards the younger end of the scale of people that were in that room watching it, just because of the demographics of the business. And the entire cinema lost their minds when it was like, oh, Captain America's here. Oh, it's not Captain America.
Yeah, like
Johnny Flame.
Blaze.
What's his actual name? Blaze. Thank you.
Johnny Blaze. Yeah.
They bring in Chris Evans and he just play with the idea. It's like, oh, it's Captain America. It's Captain America, and like that goes on for like 2 to 5 minutes.
And they subvert it so well.
And then when he says "flame on," I just fucking lost it.
And
it was so unexpected as well.
The fuck up. Yeah, that was so good.
And it's because, like, at the time, Deadpool is like, oh, it's Captain America, oh my god. And then it's like, no, it's fucking... And it's like, oh, fuck, that's right, that movie exists. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And then the entire time afterwards, he's like, I can't believe this fucking guy. I hate him so much.
Did you guys see the post-credit scene?
Yeah. Well, so hang on. So the post-credit scene is like the outtakes from the extra movies, isn't it?
The post-credit.
Yeah, the post-credits.
Say it on you.
Oh,
rats.
So, you missed out.
So you know that whole arc where he's sitting there telling I don't even know
Cassandra
what her name
Nova.
is. Cassandra Nova, thank you. Where he's telling Cassandra, like, hey, no, like, Johnny was just talking absolute smack about you this whole time. In the real, Deadpool good. Just stirring shit way. The entire, like, post-credit scene is just them watching the security footage back, and it's literally him just, like, shit-talking exactly as Deadpool said.
I think they go even more in depth than what Deadpool said.
No, it's exactly what Deadpool said, which is what makes it even funnier. He's just recounting it word for word. Like, if the last thing I do on this earth is tell her that she's, and then some big insult, and then she liquefies me and turns me into a puddle of sludge that just gets washed away in this absolute barren shithole of a wasteland, I will die happy. Or just like the whole, like, 9 yards, like, that, delivering that as a monologue as Chris Evans would have been so much fun. But it was an excellent post-credit scene.
On that note, what do you guys think of the villain?
She's fine. Like, there's not a lot to write home about her, but she kind of works for the Logan side of things.
Why didn't she just, like, liquefy everybody?
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, like,
I have two...
Like, what was the deal with that?
I have 2 issues with the film. That's probably the biggest one of... It's all very well introducing it. I don't know if this is coming through the microphone. It sounds like someone's literally just opened a hose on top of my house. Thanks, living in Auckland.
Doesn't sound like that at all.
Okay,
I reckon you're just pissing yourself, aren't you? Piss boy.
Oh no, I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh no, it got me. Yeah, I don't know if this is coming through. Yeah, my mic's definitely picking it up, so hopefully I can just talk loud enough that it won't come through. But it's insane. This is like crazy heavy rain. Anyway, yeah, that's one of my issues in that you introduce a villain that is very powerful, but then the villain kind of willingly puts themselves into a position where they lose. Like, I'll give you a counterexample. I didn't like Cassandra Nova as a villain because of how good a villain like Homelander works in The Boys.
Well, Boys reference 25 minutes in.
Yeah, but
I think the counterpoint to that though is that Homelander is like a villain that's actually built up and has like a full like series dedicated to him, while Cassandra Nova is more of a she's more of a plot character used to explore Logan than being an actual villain for the movie.
Yeah, like I get, I can't fault the writers for what they did with the character. It's just if there was a way of tweaking the plot such that it doesn't feel like the character just kind of lets themselves get rolled over for the purposes of driving the plot forward, it would make this the strongest film in the trilogy for me. But it's sort of equal to possibly slightly below number one for me. I think it's better than 2. It's certainly more memorable to me than 2 was.
Yeah, 100%. But, it definitely feels like Cassandra is just like a generic superhero villain. Like there's nothing.
Yeah, because there's
no depth. I think what you're trying to say is that there's no depth to her because instead of exploring the villain and their motivations, they've used that time to explore Logan and all of that kind of the dynamic with Deadpool and a bit more into the trauma that Deadpool's trying to go through.
So there's that side of it, but there's also just the setup, which I just kind of I'm just kind of jaded by films doing, which is that like here's this problem that needs to be solved. The guy, so this trips me out. I don't know if any of you guys have seen Spooks, the BBC TV show from like 10, 20 years ago. Yeah, cool, fine. The main guy in the early seasons of Spooks is the dimensional Doctor Who looking guy. The like quote unquote main villain of the film, or the first villain of the film, the one who's like, yeah, I'm just gonna collapse your dimension. Don't worry about it. So it just tripped me, being like, is that him? Because I'm looking at a guy who I haven't seen in anything for 20 years. And then he still looks kind of familiar and speaks similar. I'm like, this is crazy. But the problem, the thing that I don't like, Deadpool 3 is like, okay, here's this problem. Deadpool needs to defeat this guy to save his dimension. Okay, fine. And then that becomes this overarching plot that everything needs to serve. And then you go into this wasteland, and in the microcosm that is this wasteland, there's now a like sub goal of defeating Cassandra to escape to go back to fighting the main villain. And what I don't like is when the film's like, they have to get through this like second issue, and we never touch the first issue again. And I get why that's happening, because they're in this sort of isolated wasteland type thing. But it makes the lack of depth of Cassandra really obvious when the whole like Deadpool either wins or doesn't against this, right? And regardless of what happens here, there's still the problem that exists outside this wasteland of trying to save this dimension. And that's the bit that I don't like, because they then spend all their time trying to solve the second problem, that it feels weird that they're just like, oh yeah, and like here's the thing that we were actually trying to do the whole time. Hope you enjoyed that fun little side quest. And it doesn't feel meaningful because they don't have time to give depth to the second character, because the second character becomes the main villain, but didn't start as the main villain of the film.
Yeah, I think I don't mind it too much, because I don't mind her not being fleshed out all that much, because she kind of just exists to be like, hey, I'm the villain that's going to try and bring Logan down. So it's less about what her goals are and more like trying to just make sure that Logan doesn't become a villain by the end of this movie. So it kind of works for his character more than it does for her own sake. And I guess I don't mind it too much because of that.
Yeah, that's fair. And these aren't like hard critiques. This is just like the, man, I really wish that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's still a great movie, but at the same time, it's like if they wanted to take that time to flesh all that kind of stuff out, like it'd be a 4-year movie. Like we can't do that.
And I don't think I don't think on like a big level they care enough to do that, because they at the same time they want to do a lot of references, like when he's going to look for Wolverine, they have like that whole sequence where he's going through different dimensions trying to find different ones where he finds like comic accurate Wolverine, or he finds one that's like in a wasteland, or then he finds a Wolverine that's played by Henry Cavill instead.
Holy shit. Holy fucking shit.
And fucking Short King Wolverine. My favorite
that was comic accurate.
Oh, that was comic accurate?
Yeah.
Is it really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Wolverine in comics is like 5 feet tall.
Really?
That's so good. I didn't realize that.
But yeah, the Henry Cavill one's fucking sick.
It's things like that, and it's things like bringing back all the old actors from the Fox movies to come back and have like their last hurrah sort of thing. The movie cares more about trying to do that and do the Fox legacy highlight reel than it is about giving the villains in-depth motivations.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's more like a nitpick than a hard critique. Like, I'm not going to say that the film was bad because they didn't do that. It's just one of those, I'm watching the film going like, it's annoying because I can't look, like, it's hard for me to look past it because I see it as an issue, and therefore it's like an issue is an issue. But let's also just shout out that I keep forgetting his name, but is it Gambit? Channing Tatum?
Yeah, Channing Tatum is Gambit.
Holy shit.
The film that
Holy
never was.
shit. Oh man,
That
favorite character. Holy shit.
That one's a deep cut because they got him because he was going to play Gambit in a Gambit standalone movie that got cancelled. It's like when The Flash got Nicolas Cage for a Superman role. It's like a deep cut because he also had a movie that got cancelled.
Yeah.
It's so funny. But like having like the accent as well, because like Gambit's supposed to be from like New Orleans, and he's just talking that southern accent, and everyone's like, and like you as the viewer is like, what the fuck is this guy saying? And then Deadpool's like, yeah, I don't know what this guy's talking about.
But then he's so clear when he's talking about. He's so clear when he starts talking dirty about how he was born ready to, like he was born in his dad's sack, ready for this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like every word of that was clear as day.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, there was gonna be something else. Yeah, so the energy levels of the cinema really high. Like everyone was just losing their minds through the entire opening act, which is just like bye into like the full like the whole
desecrating
time,
Logan's corpse.
Yeah, all of that. The bit. And this kind of ties back into just why the villain issue sticks out more clearly to me is that there was a clear lull in the energy right before the third act ramped up of them. I think it was around when they were getting ready to do the final showdown with Cassandra, where it was just sort of between like the momentum was sort of shifting, and it felt like it just lost its focus a little bit or lingered a little bit too much. It feels like such an ADHD take, but I went too long without laughing, and therefore the film felt bad.
Yeah, it was slowing down the pace to try and get ready for that, and then they had the whole the Odyssey fight scene.
Yeah. So like it ramped back up and everything fine.
That scene when like Wolverine is like having that heart to heart with like the kid. And it's like, oh yeah, like I failed in my universe. Then you're like, no, this is a lull. I had too serious.
No, I
piece of shit.
It probably was around that actually.
Is that it would have been around that time? That's
it would have been around that time.
And that's designed to be to humanize the Wolverine and to work out what happened. It's like, what went wrong in your universe, big fella?
And you know what? It was the universe
I want to bring up Laura as well because she's my nitpick.
Here it comes.
Oh, here we go.
No, it's just this is like me getting into nitty gritty details of like what's going on here because Deadpool
you would prefer it were a man, wouldn't you?
No, not that at all. Deadpool is very clearly from the Logan universe because Logan died and that like the events of the movie Logan happened.
He literally references that movie.
Yeah,
he literally says that in the first 5 minutes. Yes.
Yeah. So Laura was in that movie and he was the girl that Logan was protecting throughout that movie, but then she's in the void, and I'm trying to figure out is she supposed to be the Laura from Logan, or is she like a multiverse one? And then she puts on the glasses before like the big final action set piece, and I'm like, okay, they're saying that it is. I think they're saying that this is the Laura from that universe.
That Laura,
but why is she in the void to begin with, and sort of thing? And it's like they never really clear that up, and so that's just me wanting information that the movie didn't care to give.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I'm going to extend it by one point, which is that I thought the whole arc of Logan, the film, is that it takes place far enough in the future that Wolverine started losing his regenerative powers, and that this is just kind of canonically in the future, and I'm using air quotes, that the Deadpool movies generally felt like they were taking place in present day, in air quotes, but all of the film, like the car dealership, for example, where Deadpool works, all of that stuff feels like present day, but in my head, the events of Logan take place in the future, so I couldn't quite reconcile that side of it, but it's a similar sort of thing to what you're talking about, of like, is Laura in the void?
Yeah,
I didn't think that hard about it, to be honest.
It wasn't a thing that hit me during the movie. It was a thing that I thought about like a day later. It's like, hey, hang on a second. That's a little weird sort of thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, now that you've said it, I'm kind of, it's a bit weird. Like, but at the same time, there'll probably be like this weird extended edition that explains that kind of stuff. Like in terms of like plot holes in superhero movies, for Deadpool superhero movies as well. Like
there are a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we think Honda paid for the brand deal to put the Odyssey in there?
Oh, absolutely.
But I don't think it does because he just shit talks the Kia.
Yeah, because he shit talks the car and then destroys it.
Yeah, but like for a brand to get shit talks, like it's one of those things that's not really done in movies. So I think it's just one of those things that like it's just.
I don't think you're allowed to bring up brand names like that if you're going to shit talk them. I think that brings up some legal issues.
I think you are, but it's just like the implication being like no one's going to want to do an advertising deal with you, so there's just blanket ban. It's one of those weird things I don't understand. But that was very funny. Don't get a fucking Kia. It was good. Overall, very funny. I like at the start how Deadpool's just like an ordinary person. You know, I did think it was funny, and I don't really get as well how happy he was there.
He universe jumped. They flat out show that he was in the main MCU universe for that interview.
Ah, okay. So then.
Yeah. And then when he failed at the interview, he hops back to his one.
Oh, I thought it was just like general teleportation stuff. Okay. All right. Whatever. I must have missed that kind of stuff, but that's fine. Whatever.
It's like a little text box in the corner that said Earth 616, and then after the interview, it was Earth.
Oh,
bunch
it did.
Of numbers.
Yeah, it was like Earth 1070. I wasn't sure. Yeah, I think I kind of lost it because at the start I was like, oh, that might be a different Deadpool. But then look, it doesn't matter. I'm thinking fucking too hard into it.
Probably Cable's thing.
It didn't really. It didn't really explain it. I don't really fucking care to ask. Or maybe he got. It doesn't matter. Let's not go into it. I did like how happy he was in it though.
Yeah, that was
but then
fun.
Why was he asking for Stark? Look, it doesn't matter. We're thinking about it too much. Where was he? But no, overall, still, that scene was pretty good as well. And the scene, I'm jumping around as well. Now let's go straight to the end, where he's doing that big fight with all the other Deadpools.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then it's like the like good looking Deadpool with the long hair, and he's like, all right, how long does it take you to regenerate? And he's like, I don't regenerate. He's like, shit.
He's just questionably going like, regenerate? I can't do that.
You know what I didn't like, and I didn't like. I know everyone's gonna fucking hate me for it. The fucking dog, the Deadpool dog.
Yeah, fuck off. I was going to ask because I've seen mixed reactions on Dogpool. Your fucks. Dogpool was great.
Dogpool was great.
It's just
you know that dog was voted most ugly dog in Britain a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I fucking lost it when Nice Paul is talking to him, and he's just standing there stone faced while the dog's going ham, licking him in the face and in the mouth. Like that dog gets deep in there. And Ryan Reynolds Ryan Reynolds straight up said, yeah, that tongue was real. It wasn't CG.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I also want to give a special shout out to I imagine this would be the like action coordinator, the stunt coordinator, but everywhere you looked, particularly during that last fight scene, that was just because it went on long enough that you had the chance to, but I assume with the other fight scenes as well, that it wasn't just that Deadpool and Wolverine were just sort of randomly fighting mobs. It was that everywhere you looked on screen, Logan and Deadpool were legitimately fighting whatever was in front of them. Like all of it was. What I'm saying is that everything was choreographed.
There was actually choreography to it. Like one moment, Wolverine's in the background fighting like 3 people, while Deadpool's in the foreground, and then like they move a little bit off camera, and then they come back, and then Wolverine's in the foreground, Deadpool's in the background.
Yeah, and the bit that I noticed, the bit that made me pay attention to it more was when Deadpool was in the foreground fighting some guys, and I just see Logan like take one of the Deadpools and sort of tackle them onto the hood of the car, and then jumps onto the hood of the car, kills him, and then leaps off the car, and then jumps onto like the next guy and like in the chain. And
something I also really appreciate about the movie. Sorry, but yeah, jumping off like that sort of set piece with Wolverine is that he fights really low to the ground in this movie, like a Wolverine. Like he's running on all fours a couple of times, and that's really unique for this movie. I really appreciated that touch.
Yeah. All I was going to say is that if you inverted them at any time and had the other one in the foreground rather than the background, the fight would have been just as impactful, which makes it all the more impressive that I will rewatch this film at some point and just pay attention to more of the background because I've now seen more of the foreground, and I'm sure I will see stuff that I just completely missed on the first time watching.
Yeah, and before that fight starts, they're standing in front of a shop that says Liefeld's Feet on it. And I thought that was really funny because Rob Liefeld's a comic artist that's notorious for not being able to draw feet.
That's such a good nod.
They've made fun of him a couple of times throughout the Deadpool trilogy for that specific fact about him, but yeah, I really like that one.
That's cool. Well, we're rocking up to 26 minutes. We're basically only singing, other than the two little bits in the middle, we're basically just singing the film's praises. Are there any other particular moments that we want to call out before we start wrapping this up?
Nah, it's good. I highly recommend it. Everybody go watch it right now.
I want to call out the fact that both Deadpool and Wolverine got super sexualized by the TVA in this movie. There was the Deadpool gets suited up sequence, and then when he's coming out, there was like one guy sitting down in a cubicle, and he's just staring at his ass the entire time, and Deadpool's calling him out for it, and he picks up the phone like, "I'm calling HR on you," but then Deadpool starts falling backwards, and he's about to land ass first onto the guy, and he's like, the guy's actually taking it in, and then right at the end of the movie, they got Wolverine being shirtless because he needs one of those scenes every movie, and the entire TVA is just absorbing his abs.
I don't get what you're trying to say there, Seth, but yeah, all right.
I thought it was funny that both of them got sexualized in the movie. They existed for
people.
They existed for the gaze of the audience.
And the straights.
I said gaze as in like Gaze.
I know what you said. That was good. Was there going to be something that I wanted to call out? No, I overall really liked the film as well. Couple minor tweaks that prevent it from being like, absolute standout, standing ovation, but really, really enjoyed it, and just a really fun movie to watch.
Yeah,
Final thoughts, Steve?
I had a great time. Fantastic movie. It references that superhero movies have been shit previously, but they are so back. Not really, but
final poll for the room. Deadpool jokes multiple times that we're just going to keep milking Logan until he dies at 90. Do we think that there's going to be more, given that he said that he was hanging up the Wolverine cap and has now been brought back at least once?
I think
Hugh Jackman's tired, man. Hugh Jackman's tired. You can just tell, like, a man of his age should not have a body like that. So I don't know what they're fucking injecting him with.
Yeah, no, I think this was his final hurrah sort of thing. Maybe one more time as just like an actual send off to the Wolverine character before they hire someone new for the MCU version of him.
Logan too.
Yeah, but I think he's out. They've already talked about it's going to be hard to find someone to replace him because he's such an he's so iconic as a role of Wolverine that they need someone that can kind of live up to that legacy. But I think he's at a point he's too old to continue doing it.
You got to remember as well, it'll be hard to do like whatever Deadpool 4 looks like, if there is a Deadpool 4. They can't really integrate it with the wider MCU because it's got that R18 rating. So I highly doubt you'll see him standing next to like Captain America or an Iron Man or something.
But we see Thor crying with him.
Oh fuck, you're right. What was that about? We haven't found out.
We still don't know.
Oh well.
He saw the script for Deadpool 4.
It's actually the script for 5. I think Love and Thunder was 4.
But yeah. No, I was going to say, Thor 4, but no, you're right. There's been 5 movies. There have been 4 movies, so it would be the 5th one. Oh, that's crazy. Anyway, I think we leave it there. 30 minutes. Nice round sucking off of how good Deadpool 3 is.
Final scores?
Ooh.
9.
9, yeah. 9 feels right.
Yeah, I also sit at a 9 for it.
I suspect, I don't think we'll ever be able to prove this, but if they had run Deadpool 3 instead of Deadpool 1, like that style of film, The only reason why I think Deadpool 1 might still be slightly higher in my list is because compared to everything else that was out at the time, it was such a like left field breath of fresh air, came out on Valentine's Day, like meme of a movie, that by the time we got to the third one, there was a little bit of we knew what to expect, which just it has to take away some of the originality because it can't not.
There's also something very gritty about the first one. At least I feel like there is.
Because it was so different at the time. I think it's like you kind of get that experience again.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why it's really hard for me because like I don't know what I would give Deadpool 1. I assume it would also be around a 9. The first time I saw Deadpool 1, in the context of when I saw it, it would probably be higher. But if I watched it again now, it would be slightly lower because I've now just had more exposure to that style of film. / Ryan Reynolds is now just a household name, and that's just Ryan Reynolds, like that style of comedy, that characterization. Anyway, yeah, I'd give it a 9. 9 feels about right. Please go and see it. Very funny movie. Final thoughts? We're good to move on.
Move on.
Hold on, I never did my final
thoughts. He's always got something to say.
Yeah, because you guys didn't let me do my final thoughts. But yeah, 9. Feel like it's a really solid movie. And yeah, works really great as like a final send off to the Fox era. Really happy that they did all those callbacks for that era of the Marvel movies because yeah, like the movie kind of goes down and says if they didn't do it, then Disney themselves never would have. They would have just buried them all and moved on with their lives.
True. Cool. Well, with that being 32 minutes, do we feel like we could squeeze in Dungeons or Remnant for this week? I will leave the decision in the hands of, I guess, Steve for Dungeons. You want to put your chat in there?
Talk about Remnant 2. Talk about Remnant 2.
Talk about Remnant 2?
Hang on, let's ask my coworker Barry. Barry, should Pat talk about Remnant 2?
Barry says he's feeling sad and that you shouldn't come to work tomorrow.
What? Barry, do you actually feel like that? No. See, he doesn't feel like that.
This is a bad bit. Move on.
Why does Barry sound like Steve?
Always has been. Always has been.
It was me, Barry.
Sorry, Barry, you're getting shelved. Maybe next time, big fella.
Maybe next time.
This only works if you have an actual Muppet on screen.
But we're talking to an actual Muppet right now. Ba-boom! Okay, Remnant 2 chat. So,
oh, we actually are talking about it?
Yeah, I think I can just bash this out. So Remnant 2 has, first of all, I continue to just gush about how good this game is. The first DLC came out, end of last year, I want to say, because Remnant 2 has been out for just over a year now, I'm pretty sure. First DLC came out pretty sure the end of last year, if not early this year. And it was pretty good. I quite enjoyed it. But it was a tile set that had already been kind of explored. And what I mean by that is that Remnant 2, I'm trying not to just rehash all of Remnant 2, but Remnant 2, 5 different tile sets, 5 different map types, if you will. And it will randomly generate enough chunks on that set of tiles to create a mini story. And all of that takes place inside a playthrough. And so you play through, and you can re-roll a particular tile set to get a particular seed that you want with the rooms and dungeons to get particular items, because you'll need to do specific things to get specific items, and you need those for various builds and other bits and pieces. So there's a lot of re-rolling, a lot of RNG, a lot of procedural generation. And so what they're doing with the DLCs is they're taking the 3 main tile sets that you spend a lot of time on, and they're adding a variation to those, and that's the DLC. So the first DLC was the One True King DLC, or the Awakened King, I think. Yeah, the Awakened King sounds right. DLC, which was a Lonesome variation, which was very fun. I very much enjoyed it. But this one is a Yeisha variation. So Yeisha is a typically jungle type map. And so this is the Forgotten Kingdom DLC. And holy shit, this is easily my favorite tile set / like story arc in the game. It's amazing. So what they did for the variation is they made the world look a lot like Pandora, the James Cameron Avatar Pandora. So lots of kind of bioluminescence, jungles, that sort of thing. Awesome. Really, really cool aesthetic. Not only that, they nailed the sound design. Like the music, and I know I'm going to get a catch flag for this, generally play PlayStation games muted just because of how it works with my dual monitor setup, that I can unplug headphones and plug them plug them into the controller every so often to like make sure that I'm getting some of the music, or if there's any story beats that I want to hit, like I'll do that. And if I'm playing something like God of War Ragnarok, where most of it is story, I'm basically just playing it with headphones in the controller. But Remnant 2, because most of it's the gameplay loop rather than the story loop, I generally play it muted and then only tune in for the story beats. It's been very hard not to stay tuned in to Forgotten Kingdom because of how good the music is for a lot of the levels. It's really, really nice. And so the other thing to touch on, the story arc of this variation is that you're exploring forgotten temples, as the name implies, Forgotten Kingdom. So it's very Uncharted 2-y in like the Borneo segment of like you're exploring temples. You know, there were people that like built like lives and everything, and then they've just disappeared, and you're trying to figure out like what happened to them, and you have all these questions and mystery and stuff. And I really liked how Uncharted 2 did that, and they touch on doing that quite a bit through this as well. So they have all of the pieces to make this really, really good. In terms of the bits that they've introduced, the new class they introduced, which is the Invoker class, is awesome. Some of the guns that I've been able to use that have been part of this DLC are awesome. And what I still have yet to do is I didn't realize this from the previous DLC, but they actually have quite a few interactions between the variation on the DLC map and other tile sets. So what I mean is, there's a build that I saw that I really wanted to recreate myself. It's called the Emperor Palpatine build. I'll explain how it works in a sec. But what
somehow
it requires,
Palpatine returned.
Yeah, exactly. What it requires, one of the pieces that it requires, or one of the pieces that I wanted to attach to this, requires rolling the first DLC world such that you get a piece from the DLC and a piece from the base tile set, because it's the same tile set, so there's no reason why you can't get one piece from each. But it's just RNG if you get both the pieces that you need. And so I, by chance, on a run through of DLC 1, got both of those pieces, and so I was able to hook a bunch of them together. Got a huge number of things for the build ticked off in one playthrough, which was unheard of for me. I was expecting to like re-roll it, run through that area, grab the piece I want, re-roll it, and just rinse and repeat. But I was able to get a bunch of things at once. I haven't figured out all of the interactions or all of the secrets between this new tile set and the base tile set. I know of one, which, just because of unfortunate timing, I couldn't get, in that I'd already finished the game on this playthrough, and so I couldn't talk to a couple characters that I needed to talk to like activate some quest lines. So I'm rerunning bits of it at the moment, but the story is very cool. The area is amazing, and the gear that it's introduced I really, really like. And I think the bit that I like the most about how the story interacts is that for the first DLC, because I'm trying to sort of do like a compare contrast so that it's not just talking out of my ass. The first DLC tile set, which is Lonesome, one of the story arcs that you can play on the base tile set of that is figuring out why the one true king is in a slumber. And so the DLC talks about how
I'm not asleep.
Yeah, exactly. Wake up, Jeff. So the DLC talks about how the king is now awoken, and it links to the base set in that way. It's a continuation of that story. What I like about this one is that the Yeisha story in the base game is fine. I don't think it's revolution. It's not bad. It's just not that memorable, I guess. Not a good or a bad thing. I don't play Remnant 2 for the story, but it's not like it doesn't have to do much. And so
it's not Borderlands 3.
Yeah, okay, hold on. But you're right.
Let's not say things you don't mean. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And so I was curious, how are they going to continue that story with DLC? And I guess the writers also wondered how they were going to continue a non-memorable story with DLC. And so they just said that the DLC story is just its own thing. It takes place completely separate to the Asia story, which I think actually really helps it, in that you meet a new character going through some ruins, and all of the ruins have like lore ties to the base game, but there's no obvious story continuation from the base game. And so it means that you can just experience this fresh. You don't need to worry about like, okay, who is that person? Do I know that name from somewhere else? It's just, let's just have fun exploring these ancient ruins, Indiana Jones style, in this beautiful Pandora-esque bioluminescent world. I'm now genuinely fearful of the third DLC, because the third DLC tile set is a barren wasteland of like a desert planet slowly being eaten by a black hole, which is cool, but I don't know what you do for the variation on that. Like, it's sand, so is the variation more sand? That kind of thing. What makes me scared is that because of how much I've enjoyed this DLC, I don't think the third DLC can be as good. And I will happily, like, when the third DLC comes out, come out and eat my words and say third DLC somehow did the impossible and is even better than the second DLC. But I am currently living in peak Remnant 2 world, and it's awesome. Is there anything that you guys wanted to hit on within that? Otherwise, I'm going to quickly discuss the Palpatine build, and then we're good to move on.
I want to hear this Palpatine build.
No, I've got questions. Is it? I've got questions as someone who hasn't played Remnant 2, but I'm Remnant 2 curious because it's on Game Pass and I can play it for free. Imagine paying for a video game. Couldn't be me. Contextualize it for me. Is it like a different world you go to, or do you enter it from like a menu, or is it like a different environment type of thing? How do you get there? I've always found it interesting with DLCs.
Yeah, okay. So a big component of Remnant 2 is like world traveling, kind of MCU-y, multiverse-y, jumpy, that kind of shit. So when you start Remnant 2, you're like fresh, you've never played it before. You start in a place called Earth, which shockingly is just like us. They technically call it Root Earth because it's Earth being taken over by like this evil big bad. And the whole story of Remnant 2 is you trying to defeat the evil big bad. So you then get to a settlement where there's like a group of survivors and they've cleared out a bunch of the big bad, but they're not really sure what to do. And you do a bunch of story stuff and then unlock world traveling. And so you literally, from your little hub world with all your like merchants and shit, go, I want to world travel to this, let's just call it a planet for argument's sake. I want to travel to this planet. And so you will just teleport to that planet. And so on that planet, because it's a planet, there's like a particular like tile set, which is like a jungly feeling for Yeisha. That's the world of one of these planets. And so in the base game, it's all jungle. Like the whole thing, not all jungle, but like it's jungle themed. We'll say it's jungle themed. Most of it is jungle-ish. And so you go through and you experience a story in this jungle world, and the story has a whole bunch of different possibilities based on the RNG seed, but it will always have like a starting point and an ending point, and then the middle can be kind of jumbled up, and there will always be, I think, 2 variations of the start and 2 variations of the end. And what the point of the DLC is it adds a third variation to the start and end, and then a bunch of new things that the game can RNG in the middle. So when you first play the DLC, the game will bias your seed for Yeisha to show you this new content. Not 100% of the time, but like 95% of it will be new content. And so once you've finished the DLC you've teleported to Yeisha, and this is like a very specific, I want to play the DLC. So you have like your main, I'm playing the campaign, and you go through all the different worlds, and then you're completing the overarching story and fighting the big bad. But you also have what's called adventure mode, which is just, I want to re-roll this world. And so when you play the DLC, you say, I want to re-roll this world with DLC content. Does that sort of make sense?
Okay. Yeah, I think I get it more now than what I thought. Yeah.
And so once you go through it and you're like, oh man, that was so good, I want to play the DLC again. Initially, because this was added in an update more recently, I don't know when, initially, you would only, once you finish the DLC, go, I want to re-roll Yeisha. And the game wouldn't distinguish Yeisha base and Yeisha DLC. So if you had the DLC unlocked, you could spawn into Yeisha, and bits of it would be DLC, bits of it wouldn't. It would just be a random mishmash. Somewhere in the past 6 months or so, since I've been playing Remnant 2 more heavily, maybe more recently, somewhere in the last 3 months, I don't know, somewhere more recently, the developers added a, I want to reroll Yeisha with DLC option. So there's Yeisha and there's now Forgotten Kingdom DLC. And so initially, Forgotten Kingdom DLC, you could only press once. It was like, hey, you're only going to get this once. You sure you want to use it now? And then you'd be like, yep, want to use it, want to experience the DLC. And then after that, it all gets added to the same RNG pool, and then you play bits of DLC, bits of base game, depending on what the RNG seed was. But now you can say, I want to re-roll it with RNG for the DLC. And so likewise with the first game, with the first DLC of Lonesome is the world. And so you go to the world and you play the base game, and you're like, I want to re-roll this world with DLC content. And now you can do that.
Yeah, okay. Now I'm with you now. That seems like it's
cool.
It seems standard. Like, it doesn't seem like it's different or anything.
Different, like how they implement it.
Yeah, is what I mean.
No. It works. It works exactly as you play the base game, and now you have DLC content. The difference was
it's stapled onto the end.
Yeah. The difference is when it first came out. Once you played the DLC, if you wanted to play the DLC again, you had to re-roll the whole thing and just hope that you got DLC content. And enough people were like, "Hey, you've given us stuff specific to the DLC. I don't want to have to keep re-rolling to get the DLC specific stuff again. I want to get to the DLC faster." And the devs were like, "Yep, no worries, boss. Here's a button that says show me DLC content faster." Emperor Palpatine build. Normally, when I played through Remnant, I was like happy-go-lucky gunman of I have gun, I shoot things, they die. That works pretty well. I enjoyed that build. Most of the classes that I leveled up were classes that played with changing gun damage and that kind of thing. But Remnant 2, a game full of secrets, introduced had a bunch of secret classes. We've discussed a few of them on the pod, I'm pretty sure. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure before. Where gun isn't the focus. So it'd be stuff like Engineer, where your focus is this giant fuck-off turret. Or secret classes like Archon and Invader and other ones that are more like different play styles rather than just runny shooty. So the Palpatine build, the new class that was introduced in Forgotten Kingdom, this DLC, is a caster called the Invoker. And it pairs up really well with an existing super secret class called the Archon, which is just a really strong class, also kind of castery focused. And so what the build is rather than focusing on gun damage, it focuses on ability damage. And so you have mods on your weapons that their alternate fire fires an elemental projectile. And so your main weapon, it's a particular main weapon, but you can make it fire a sandstorm on the alternate fire. And it's just this big fuck-off sandstorm that just sits in the middle and damages shit. And you can augment your skills so that AoEs are larger and last longer and all that kind of thing. Your sidearm, you can augment to fire a fire tornado. And the two skills that you have from the classes are from the Archon side, you can have a is it the Archon side? I'm pretty sure it's the Archon side. That you have a big tidal wave, big fuck off tidal wave that just sweeps over everything and then drenches stuff. And when stuff gets drenched, it gets struck by lightning. And on the Invoker side, you can have chain lightning, which, because things are now drenched, does massive amounts of damage. And so you basically walk into a room full of enemies, yell, I am the Avatar, master of all four elements, and then shoot a giant sandstorm, a giant fire tornado, drench everything in water, and then float around as Emperor Palpatine, shooting lightning out of your hands until nothing's moving anymore. And you feel like a god doing this. It is very fun.
I love when you can make a build that just makes you feel indestructible and like a god like that.
Yeah, it's really good. And the problem is, I'm so addicted to playing this way that I need to swap to other classes to level them up, and I feel so weak by comparison now. Very, very fun. If you have it on Game Pass, highly recommend. And
yeah,
I didn't realize
you said
this
that
until
last time.
Yeah, I didn't realize this until recently, but it has crossplay.
Ooh,
yeah. Now we're cooking with gas. It's crossplay via Epic, so you need to link however you're playing it to your Epic Games account. I assume that it definitely works. PlayStation to PC. I'm sure there's no reason why it wouldn't work on Xbox as well. But yeah, very, very fun. Huge fan of this DLC, and can't wait to. I'm still waiting for the RNG gods to smile on me that I get the final piece of my build for finishing Emperor Palpatine. I think it's just one piece left. That I already feel like a god, but I will feel like a god when I get this last piece. And it's just a random drop, so I just need to keep playing a particular map until I find it. But got me hooked, and I will continue playing with a smile on my face. Any other questions off the back of that?
No.
Yeah, I
Cool.
am all good.
Excellent. I give it a solid, probably 9.5. 9.5 out of 10, I'd say.
Ooh.
Yeah, like this is in the context of Remnant 2. Remnant 2, I would also give probably a 9 out of 10. But there are problems with Remnant 2. Don't get me wrong. There are problems. I'm playing it through with a friend of mine, and he's just pointing out all the flaws. I'm like, yeah. Ignore those. Just trying to get into
Don't listen to those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just like, oh, but what about this thing? Like, no. Remnant 2 is about the gameplay. It's like, yeah, but the story's stupid. Like, I know. The story is pants on head stupid. Don't worry about the story. Focus on the gameplay. Very good. Anyway, we are good to move on, I think. That means we're going to hit dungeons next week. Yes? Next episode, rather?
We'll have it next week. I'm fine with that.
Sounds good. Which means that we are at the end of part 1 for this week. I would say thank you to you both, but I think it was actually me doing most of the talking. Thank you to me. No worries, me. Self 5.
That was probably one of the most cringe things you've ever said on this podcast.
Oh, I could be cringer.
Proud of you carrying the podcast this week.
Yeah, someone's got to. Always has been. But we get to move on to part 2 for this week, which is, of course, the news. First up, we have we have a trailer for the Like a Dragon series coming. I believe Steve is our resident Like a Dragon canonical fan. What are your thoughts on this trailer?
Absolutely keno. Like, look, let's be real. It is like, what, a minute, and it doesn't really show anything. It shows that they're kind of, like, I think the first 5 or 10 seconds of them, like, actually showing clips from the games. So obviously, like, they're playing the games and stuff. But it does sort of bode well. It does look very nice.
Most of the trailer is him getting his tattoo.
That's like the first half of the trailer, and the other half of the trailer is. I think that's a big theme that I can't remember. I should have watched before this, but the trailer is a majority of the tattoo. But like, it does show some things, so it does still look cool. We should be excited, and the fact this fucking comes out in like 2 months. Very excited. Us Like a Dragon fans we cannot stop eating good. I'll tell you that much. Even though the games are very similar to movies, but whatever. I'm very interested to see what a live action one looks like.
Very good. I don't really have anything to add to this. So anything from you, Seth? Are we good to move on?
Just generally, I don't know if I'm excited for this. I'm going to give it a watch. But Yakuza is something that can be done well in live action. I just don't know how much I trust this Amazon Prime show in particular to do it.
The Boys is good. Invincible is good. That's the only shows I've seen this year, but I'm sure there are other ones that are good. Look, it doesn't matter. Let's just wait. Let's wait and see. Let's not spec. Let's not take guesses. Stroke there. Sorry.
Cool. Speaking of strokes, a lot of fans have had strokes after seeing Robert Downey Jr. cast as Doctor Doom in upcoming Avengers 5. Any strokes from us? That's a weird way of phrasing that question. What are our thoughts on this?
I'm glad he's been able to find some work after being killed off in the MCU by going back to the MCU.
He went and he dabbled with like a serious dramatic role in Oppenheimer, and now he's like,
he got an Oscar for it, and then he's decided, nah, this is a little too grand.
Do you reckon? Do you reckon it's like the Adam Sandler thing of like, I'm known as being typecast into these films, and then goes and does like Uncut Gems? It's like a serious dramatic role, and people are like, wow, he's actually a really good actor when he does this sort of role. And he's like, yeah, cool. Anyway, so I'm back to my old shit.
Just needed one hit to make sure that he could do it, and now that he's done it, he can go back to the old him.
Just to prove to the haters.
Do you think he could pull off a Tropical Thunder again?
I've seen people talking about this. Can he just directly replace Kang as like Jonathan Majors? It is Majors, eh?
Don't know.
I believe so.
It's mentioned in this one. Where are we? Yeah, Jonathan Majors. Yeah. People were memeing like, I mean, he has in the past done similar roles, shall we say? But no, I think it would be very funny for Disney to roll with that. I just don't think they will, like, ever.
So a fun fact about this,
time.
He is being paid over $80 million for the roles of Doctor Doom across the two movies.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Good Lord.
They also brought back the Russo brothers. One of his big things was he's not coming back to the movies unless the Russo brothers are directing the Avengers movies.
Yeah, I mean, sort of makes sense, I guess. Like, if, like, to be honest, if you're at the phase where you're able to demand $80 million for two movies, I don't think people would say no to him asking for particular directors to be brought back, because what else are you going to do? Not pay one person $80 million for two movies?
That's like, I'm pretty sure that's the entirety of Deadpool 1's budget.
Yeah, no, that's more than the entire budget of Deadpool 1. That's more than a lot of films.
Hopefully it's a good film.
Crazy. Yeah. Good on him, honestly. Taking money from Disney. I don't know. Neutral good.
Yeah, and also fun thing to mention as well here is that they straight up said that Doomsday is going to wrap up the entire Kang Dynasty storyline. And I think within the first 10 minutes of that movie, Doctor Doom is just going to kill all the Kangs.
I haven't seen that movie. Is there a lot of Kangs?
There's like a stadium full of them.
Ah, that's a couple, I guess.
It's at least 7 when you count them.
Ah, that's good. I could handle 7 Kangs at once.
In a fight,
Would you rather fight 7 Kang-sized horses or 1 horse-sized Kang?
I don't know who. Anyway, let's move on. We spent too much time on it. All the best to Robert Downey Jr. in his future endeavors.
And his $80 million.
This is either going to be really good or this is going to actually kill the MCU.
Yeah, I know that people were kind of mixed on Endgame. Like, everyone loved Infinity War, but then people were sort of mixed on Endgame. So I guess we'll see. I think there was also just a bit of superhero fatigue. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll see what happens. Robert Downey, have fun with the payday. Feel free to, chuck a few mil our way. I don't think you notice it missing.
Robert Downey is his father.
Ah, because he's Robert Downey Jr. I get it. Good
one.
One
of the few times when that joke just, like, 1 makes sense and 2 fucking lands. Good on you, Seth. Well played. Next up, we have Rivals 2 dropping a character reveal trailer. Orkane, which I'm pretty sure is a returning character. Am I crazy? I swear I've seen this.
Yeah, this is a returning character, and they were an absolute menace in the original game.
Yeah.
Like, Orca's entire gimmick in the Rivals of Aether games is that they can place down a puddle, and no matter where they are on screen, they can teleport back to that puddle, and it's really hard to deal with. Really, really dirty character. Love to see them back.
More of that, please. This is the first game being published as part of Off-Brand Games, so we get to see Ludwig and Thor making sure that this game goes well, doesn't go to shit. I think Ludwig's actually already done a stream of like a bunch of people playing lands of Rivals 2 somewhere in the past. I think I saw somewhere in the past week some stream title talking about that. So I mean, I'm excited for this. I didn't play that much of Rivals 1, but I just loved watching mostly Alpharad just memeing through a lot of those videos.
Alpharad really championed the first game, and I played it a little bit, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to give the second one a try.
It's good to see that they're going to be picking up multiverses and learning from their mistakes. Fuck, this game looks. I'm watching the trailer now. Fuck, this looks so fluid. Fucking hell, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like the actual one game that competes with Smash in game feel.
Right on. I'm not going to get it, but right on.
Cool. Well, why don't we move on? We got a few. Wait, I always mess this up. Let me try it this time. Hunter X Hunter.
Hunter
Yes?
multiply Hunter.
Shit, that would have been way better actually. Yeah, Hunter
God, that was a
multiply
good one.
Hunter. Shit. Oh, Seth stole my joke. Fuck. Seth's just outpacing me today. Man, what's wrong with me?
I had a hot
anyway,
chockey during the
Everyone
break.
gets one.
that you know what? Maybe I should go get a hot chockey. But do you want to talk us through the Hunter multiply Hunter news?
Yeah, I guess I'm not a big Hunter person, but real quick.
I am. I'll talk through the news. Fuck you, Seth.
Okay, sure, you take it. Thank God.
So they announced. I don't know. I never fucking know how to pronounce his name. I've only seen it written. Maruam, I think is how it's pronounced. Which
I
is
believe
like
the legendary Pokemon is actually Curem.
Yeah, that's Pokemon. This is Hunter multiply Hunter. Come on, man. Got to lock in. You got to start watching those TikToks. But
The last time we
sort of
talked
announced
about him, we just called him the Chimera Antark guy.
Pretty much, yeah, the Chimera Antark guy, because I couldn't remember his name. But they announced him, big surprise. Not he's like the big bad guy. He was always going to get in. But then they also released like the opening cinematic, and there's like, it looks like it shows the entire roster. I'm not sure if they've confirmed it is the full roster.
I believe they said everybody is here.
They haven't confirmed it because they'll still want to do character-specific trailers, but if these are all the characters in the opening cinematic, I think this is the entire roster for the game.
Yeah, and I think there's about like 12 or 14 or something. There's a couple...
It's a very small roster for a 3v3 game.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Like, and there's a couple that there seems to be missing, but at the same time, all the mains are there. So it kind of... like they're missing all the Chimera Ant guards. They're missing some things from I think it's Greed Island, I think as well. They're just missing a couple, which would be interesting to see what happens. Man, I need to go back and watch Hunter x Hunter.
It's just a weird thing where it's like a single game of this, like a single match of this game. You could be seeing like a third of the roster just right there.
Yeah, just in like one match. Yeah.
Yeah, because these games usually try to aim for like a 30 character roster.
Yeah, I just don't think there's. I don't think there's 30 characters in Hunter x Hunter, just by the fact it's gone on for like a bajillion years. But
yeah,
anyway,
which at that point, I wonder. Like, it's really weird that they made it a 3v3 fighter in the first place.
What you're saying is that we need more characters, so it should be Hunter, Hunter, Hunter.
Might be onto something there. But yeah, like I don't care much for this game. I'm not a big fan of 3v3 fighters. All the best to people that do though. Everybody go watch Hunter x Hunter.
Cool. Well, next up, some more fighting game news. Where we at?
Want me to rapid fire?
Please.
Okay, so SNK at Evo went, hey, here's a bunch of stuff we're announcing. First one is they're going to revive the Art of Fighting series, which is their... They have like multiple fighting game series, and Art of Fighting is like their first one. So they're like, hey, we've been reviving all of them over time. We're just going to bring this one back as well. And they're going to be doing a Samurai Showdown action RPG. Neither of these showcase any art, so they're probably at least 4 years away for each of them. Vice and Mature were announced for King of Fighters 15, and they're both coming out in December, which is like a fairly decent amount of time away, so I'm surprised they got announced this early. And then 2 characters were announced for Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. They announced Kevin Ryan, which was one of the more popular characters from the original game, mostly because he's just overpowered and was extremely top tier. And then they also announced Billy Kane, who's a more story-oriented character, and he's like one of the big villains that's going out around in the SNK universe of fighting games. So just really cool to see him coming back as well. And then the big thing for them was that they announced that SNK versus Capcom SVC Chaos was getting shadow dropped that day they announced it on PC. this is one of the worst fighting games ever. I played for like an hour, and it controls fine, but there's a lot of questionable hitbox stuff that's happening in the game, and a lot of like really weird mechanics. Yeah, I don't recommend people buy this, but I bought it out of like just pure curiosity for the game, and I'm glad that this re-release happened, even though it's not going to be taken seriously. I'll quickly move on to Grand Blue news. They showed a trailer for their new original character called Versusia. I'm not entirely sure how to say that, but she's made specifically for the Grand Blue fighting game. She's like a big four-armed demoness character that looks pretty neat, actually. Like, she looks like she's going to be a very fun character. And then afterwards, they also announced the final character for the first season pass is going to be a character named Vikala, who's a mouse-themed idol. And then they also said, hey, we're going to do a second season, and the first character of that season is going to be the fan-favorite character, Sandolphin. Not a lot besides that, but yeah, neat to see that Grand Blue is still going to continue, because the first time they tried the Grand Blue fantasy fighting game, it didn't land particularly well.
Mm.
Do you want to take over Multiverses, Patrick?
Multiverses I know slightly more than nothing about, so yeah, I'm good to jump on back in there. We get a character reveal trailer for none other than, wait for it, Shaggy's canonical father. I'm kidding, it's Samurai Jack, but like imagine though, like just dream with me.
I can see it. They're both very powerful figures.
They are very powerful figures. Both know how to wield a sword, if you know what I mean. So Samurai Jack has been revealed in a gameplay trailer. Samurai Jack's it's weird. It's like one of the few Cartoon Network shows that like I would watch the odd episode of, but I was never really like into growing up. Were you guys big Samurai Jack fans?
That's wild to me because I loved Samurai Jack. Big blind spot for me though is that I didn't watch
poor family, poor growing
season
up,
5.
having water for dinner. You know what it's like.
Yeah, big blind spot for me is I didn't end up watching season 5 yet. It's something where
I was poor.
I want to watch the entirety of Samurai Jack in like one go.
Right.
You know, I actually respect the hustle of you, Seth, just like straight up just not stopping.
I just cut you out when you do that.
No, but like even like you're talking now, like you didn't even stop, you didn't hesitate. You're like, nah, fuck him. Steven's making a funny joke, and I'm just gonna talk over him.
In the wise words, fuck it, we ball.
But yeah, no, I never watched Samurai Jack. Is what I was saying.
They also at the end of the trailer showed Beetlejuice is coming, and I think that's Wacko from the Animaniacs. Oh, they got balloons of all the Animaniacs, so they might just be like background character things that's coming. I don't know.
Animaniac.
But Beetlejuice looks weird as fuck in this art style.
Yep, I would agree with that. I don't really know if there's...
We can keep moving on. You don't have to pause it, man. We've said it. Move on.
Cool. Moving on, we will. Speaking of multiverses, they have been picked up by Warner Brothers. Well, like rather the devs, Player First Games, the developers of Multiverse, have been picked up by Warner Brothers, which makes me scared that they're going to get picked up and then tossed in the trash like a lot of other Warner Brothers IP.
Yeah, I feel like once Multiverses actually dies off, these developers are all going to be laid off immediately.
Once Multiverses dies off, the studio will also die off. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, it'll probably happen in the same announcement. Multiverses is dying. Plus, we've shut down Player First Games.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, I don't know. This smells fishy to me. Sorry to hear about their impending closure.
It feels extremely doomer, but it feels like that's the writing on the wall in this scenario.
Yeah, I don't know. People smarter than me with more knowledge than me clearly have some angle on this, but yeah. Obviously, I hope it goes well. I never want to wish ill on any studio, but I can't say that I have a huge amount of faith of Warner Brothers after how they handle other things, picking up that developer and not treating them like shit. So we'll see. Moving on. Yes. No.
Yep. Need me to pick back up the Evo news?
Please. Yeah. Back on the grind.
First up, Guilty Gear. They dropped a trailer where they go on.
Thanks. I feel now very well rested. I'm awake again. Continue.
Okay. First up, Guilty Gear. The trailer showed that, hey, we're going to be doing a beta for the Team 3v3 mode. That beta has come and passed. Seems like there were a lot of issues with that mode. But I never tried it myself, so I don't have any personal experience to say because I'm not a big fan of Guilty Gear Strive. But hey, they also said to twist that knife in me not enjoying this game, they said, hey, we're going to continue for another season. So they announced Dizzy is going to be returning. Venom is going to be returning to fan favorite characters. They also announced that the new character from that anime is going to, in fact, become a playable character at some point, which we kind of called the last time we talked about Guilty Gear's anime coming up. And then a surprise reveal, they announced that they're doing a guest character from Cyberpunk Edgerunners, and they're going to be bringing in Lucy. Not a lot to say about that one, though.
Yeah, no, it's still on my list of things to watch eventually.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people said that they're upset that it wasn't Rebecca instead, but they might be trying to integrate Lucy's story into Guilty Gear at the same time. They're being quite a little bit mum about that, but it makes sense why they picked Lucy, especially since she's really popular in Japan. And then we move over to Tekken, where Harada revealed himself to be a massive liar and dropped a trailer that shows that Heihachi Mishima is, in fact, still alive.
Somehow.
He was thrown into a volcano, and after that, he retired to the mountains and trained a bunch of monks in the ways of Mishima Karate. So now he has his own hit group called Tekken Monks.
I feel like we're just going to end up rehashing the Logan discussion, but we're going to keep milking Heihachi until he's like 700 years old.
Yeah, we can't make the joke that he's 90 years old because I'm pretty sure he already is 90.
Yeah. I was just thinking that. I think canonically he is already fairly old, so just whack an even bigger number on there. They'll keep him alive somehow.
Yeah, along with that, they revealed all this in like an actually elaborate story trailer. There's going to be an update with a new story mode edition coming out around the time he releases, which I think is autumn in the US. Yeah, autumn in the US. And
yes, yeah.
Two minor fun facts. The first one is that after the trailer aired at the live presentation they showed at Evo, they ended the trailer by showing Raven, the character from Tekken, going every time he said Heihachi Mishima is dead, and showing the year that statement was made. And then cutting to live footage of Harada last year at a Tekken showcase going, Heihachi Mishima is completely dead, and then everyone losing their shit over it. And the other one, which is just a fun thing I noticed upon rewatching the trailer, back in February they did a Tekken talk show where they talked about the 30th anniversary of Tekken and all this stuff they're doing for it, but they also revealed a logo for it, where it's got 30th and then Tekken underneath it, but on the sides of it they've got an angel wing and a devil wing and like a circle behind it. And I was like, oh no, that's pretty cool because of like it's the wings of Devil Jin and Devil Kazuya. And then after the trailer I'm like, wait a second. That circle bridges between them and it makes a silhouette of Heihachi's head now. Like the angel wings and devil wings are his hair protruding out of his bald head. And And then, like, a day after I made that realization, an article came out going, yeah, no, we did that on purpose. That 30th anniversary logo is supposed to look like his head silhouette.
Good shit.
And then Street Fighter 6 showed off a trailer showing...
Sorry, Street Fighter, yeah.
Yeah, Street Fighter 6 showed off a trailer for Terry Bogard just being introduced into the World Tour mode. It's not a really in-depth trailer, just kind of showing what he's going to look like in the game, and it's pretty neat. His face looks a little weird, but I think it's because people aren't used to seeing Terry in the Street Fighter art style. It's usually more cartoon visuals rather than the semi-realistic style they go for.
I was going to say, you're going to say semi-realistic where people are built like fucking fridges. Peak male physique is actually just like God of War. Not God of War, Gears of War physique.
Big fella. Do you reckon we're gonna finally get a Mario character into Street Fighter? Like because Terry's in Smash, isn't he?
He is, yes.
Yeah, so first crossover with Street Fighter.
I would really like them to put Yoshi into the semi-realistic Street Fighter art style as the crossover.
That's going to be in the next Illumination movie.
Maybe.
Thanks. I hate it. Mortal Kombat next?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat next. They announced the most dog shit season pass I've ever seen. But before that, they showed off a story mode trailer. They're going to be doing the same thing they did with Mortal Kombat 11, and now Tekken 8 as well, where they do a DLC story to expand on the original game story mode. And that stuff looks fine. I'm okay with the story mode. The funniest thing to me, though, is that Sub-Zero still could not survive a single game. They reset the timeline, and they're still like, you know what? Sub-Zero needs to die so we can bring back Noob Saibot. It's just one of those things where, even with the universe timeline, the Mortal Kombat developers are allergic to not keeping up the status quo, and I just kind of laugh at that. But more on the things that are actually being updated. They're going to do a free update where they introduce animalities back into the game. Where
that's cool. I do like the animalities. They are pretty funny.
Yeah, animalities have always been pretty neat. The big one that they showed off like in full, because they just kind of do like a montage reel of a bunch of them. But then the one that they show off in full is Melina turning into a praying mantis and then eating the head of her opponent. And then after that, they also showed off the season pass, which is going to have Cyrax, Sector, and Noob Saibot, who are all going to be available when the DLC comes out. Like, all three of those Mortal Kombat characters are just going to be there day one. And then they're going to have Ghostface, the T-1000, and Conan the Barbarian as crossover DLC.
Yeah, I don't really know what to make. Like, I actually really enjoyed playing as Cyrax, I think, specifically, back in... I keep asking, whatever Mortal Kombat game
Mortal Kombat
I played,
9, I'm pretty
7,
sure.
9? Okay,
It was on the PS3?
Out of my ass. It was the PS3 one.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 9.
I should really have that tattooed on my hand somewhere so I don't have to keep asking that. But Cyrax is quite fun in that one, just leaving bombs all over the place and just being a menace.
Yeah, and using the net to catch people is really fun.
Yep, that's fun. And then Noob was fun because it was also, just newbie, cheesy, shitty tactics.
Using teleports to run around everywhere, using his shadow clone.
Uh-huh. And I will say, I know it's a trailer more than the gameplay trailer, but the trailer is still quite sick for Noob. I like Noob's like shadow clone style. I don't know. I'm a sucker for
I really like Noob. Shit. Like I don't like playing Mortal Kombat, but I like some of the characters, and Noob is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I like the dark, edgy ninja assassin.
Yes, the anime sword main of Smash Brothers, but Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. The thing that got me after seeing the season pass was that seeing the first season pass again, where it's Homelander, Omni-Man, and Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
kind
the
of
John
hit
Cena
me.
one. Yeah.
It kind of hit me that were those three characters supposed to be for an Injustice game that never happened, since they're all comic hero related. And then now that season 2's here, they're going back to horror and action movie tropes that are for your 40-year-old father.
Maybe.
We can't rule it out.
Yeah, that was just the kind of a thought that crossed my mind seeing that.
Shout out to at Mythos F388. Trying to make sure that that's the right. I don't think it's Mytho S3.
Shut up! What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about, man?
The guy who commented on it. My brain does not physically allow me to see Ghostface doing air combos on Omni-Man. Hilarious joke. Mythos 6308. There we go. Shout out to him or her. I don't know.
Shout out to Mythos. You're the realist. You're the realist for that comment. Even if nobody got me, I know Mythos got me.
Good to move on.
Yeah, good to move on.
Always has been.
Oh, cool. Also, fun fact about that one: that was not an Evo announcement. That was a San Diego Comic-Con announcement, because more people would be watching Comic-Con than Evo.
You're right, Seth. That was a fun fact. Bleach news. Who wants it? It ain't me.
Me. Pick me.
Anyone? Anyone.
Pick me.
Ideally, someone we consider to be a person.
I think we might
Seth?
skip it.
Me. What?
Oh, yeah.
What a weird thing to say.
That might be right. Interest of
time.
time. Yeah, okay, fine. Go on, Steve. What do you want?
Well, speaking of cleaning, Bleach, the Rebirth of Souls game that's coming out, they just did a quick character trailer for Ichigo, Rukia, and Uryu. They kind of showcase the different ways of playing. Like you've got Ichigo as kind of the close range fighter, Rukia is kind of like the, for lack of a word, a bit mid-range fighter. Then you've got like Uryu, who will be like a long-range fighter. Standard stuff. No big surprise that these fucking three main characters are in this game. But I think just how this game is going to play is going to be a bit. Here I am.
Here we go.
Fucking got him. Here we fucking. But yeah, so it's interesting how this kind of stuff works out. It wouldn't be surprised if over the next 2 weeks we keep getting like drip fed trailers. Like probably the next one will be Chad, Renji, and Orihime or something. That wouldn't fucking me. Or fucking Ganju.
I do appreciate with the snippets of gameplay we've seen that this looks like it might be a pretty competent 3D arena fighter. Like going more towards
like
the quality of Ninja Storm than going the route of Jump Force.
Oh, it's nothing could compete with the Jump Force.
Oh, the JJK game and was down there with it.
Yeah, and so was the My Hero Academia games, and
those were apparently pretty good. At least AlphaRad enjoyed it enough to run a tournament.
I think it was one of those things where it was, we finally got a game for this. Oh, it's one of these games. There's nothing special. Apparently, if you played an Ultimate Ninja Storm, you've played the My Hero Academia one. Like it's
the Demon Slayer one as well was very Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, but worse.
Yeah, and apparently, like in the story mode, had like these weird action sequences. Sorry, this adventure sequences that didn't make sense. Like it wasn't very good. That's why it kind of just burnt out by Arena Fighters. Like they peaked in fucking Ultimate Ninja Storm series and the kind of new wave of animes try to do it, but it's like
it didn't help that Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm was coming out like yearly or every 2 years.
It did,
and they had yearly. Like 6 games.
Yeah, it was yearly, and there was like every second game was like would continue the story, while every other game was like just filler. And I was like, oh, okay, we're doing this again, and I still bought all of them with my fucking hard-earned Macca's money. Fucking sucker. But yeah, where Bleach Shads are so back. And speaking of anime fighting games, there's been a bit more trailers for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which fucking
Sparkling Zero?
Nope, Sparking. There's no L there, Pat. We had this discussion last time. I got it wrong, and I corrected myself, and because I'm evolving as a human being.
Oh, okay. I'll correct myself as well.
As Dragon Ball : Sparking !
I think you might have made that joke last week too.
Suck my ass. I'm done. You
eat my entire ass. Hit us with the news though, Steven.
All right, I'm the bat now. So they just showed off a trailer this morning, I think maybe 12 hours ago, about like the Saiyan and Namek sagas. It looks fucking fantastic. It looks really good. And they've introduced they haven't introduced anything, but they've kind of shown that it.
They have new character reveals, and it's that at this point they're going, okay, instead of doing random speed versus power or themed trailers, we're just going to go arc by arc. So now they're like, okay, here's Raditz, here's the Cybermen, here's Chaozu, and then in the Frieza saga, they're like, hey, here's Dodoria, here's Zarbon, here's Kui.
Zarbon transformed, the Ginyu Force, fucking Kui. Yeah, like it's characters that you'd expect to be there. But the big type of news is that during an interview with IGN, someone from the development team or something from Sparking Zero
I think they're
that,
a marketing manager.
No, so they probably don't even fucking know. Classic marketing.
So there's like a heavy rumor mill sort of thing, because we don't know how much this guy knows about the roster.
Probably nothing. But like he said that like the Red Ribbon Army's going to be there, and it's like, oh, okay, that means it's including things like Dragon Ball. Yeah, and Tao Pai. So like, oh, it means they're going to do like fucking Android 8 or something. And it's like, oh, will they? Or does he mean Red Ribbon Army like fucking Dr. Gero? Who knows? Like it's weird to call it the Red Ribbon Army. And does that sort of reference the new Red Ribbon Army from Dragon Ball Super
I think
Heroes?
it's because they say Tao Pai specifically that people jump to, oh, does that mean like General Blue is going to be there? Sort of thing? Or Arale?
Yeah, General Blue, maybe. We can dream.
Arale's always been a fun character in these games as well, so I'd like to see her back.
I hate her. She's a fucking self-insert. Oh, remember Dr. Slump? I remember that. This is that character. I don't like it. Do not reference your old material. This is new material. Anyway. I think that's it for fighting game news. All right.
We did it. We survived.
Did we?
Hopefully we never have to talk
really?
about it. Hopefully we never have to talk about one again.
Now the only fighting we'll talk about is the fighting that we do internally. We need an HR department. Anyway, next up, let's talk about the thing that was announced at the, well, not at the, but just during the last episode, we talked about how Emio the Smiling Man was like just a weird, like, what is Nintendo cooking trailer for what looked to be a sort of horror-y sort of game from Nintendo. We weren't really sure what to make of it. We have some more information on that. I still don't really know what to make of this, I'll be honest.
It is part of the Famicom Detective Club sort of series, so this is like a detective visual novel game, and they're going to be charging $50 for it. So hopefully that means it's a beefy game. The big one that I thought was interesting about this also was that Yoshio Sakamoto is the producer for the game, and he's a big figurehead behind the Metroid series. Like he makes all of like the creative decisions behind that series. So interesting to see that he's going to be involved with this.
Nothing to add. I guess we'll move on.
Yeah. This is basically just a follow-up for what happened last week.
Yeah. In news that we really care about, there's an Astrobot-themed DualSense controller. It's kind of cool. I'll be honest. That's it. That's the
I don't care for this. Is there an Xbox controller?
No. Who cares about the Xbox controllers when we have an Astrobot controller?
He's right, you know. The one thing that I wish it did, which I don't think it does, but
do you wish it turned into a rocket ship?
Well, okay. The two things I wish it did. Three things. One, that two, pay my taxes, but three, not on the list. Just because the design, the eyes are obviously like the screen on the touchpad of the DualSense controller. I'm 99% sure it's just like a static like material and not actually a screen. Yeah, but like, just how good would it be though?
Yeah, the trailer shows it emoting like an LCD screen, which would be really neat.
Yeah. Probably in some ways glad that it's not that, because that would be such a waste of battery on on a controller, but
And Lord knows
like,
the DualSense doesn't need to waste more battery.
no, it really doesn't. But yeah, it's like a nice what if. But man can dream.
You know my favorite thing about this controller?
Go on.
The face buttons are actually colored inside it instead of just being gray.
Holy shit, I need to open this link again. I did not even click to that. I was just staring at like the rest of it.
It's still just blue across all of them, but the PS5 controller changing to have the face buttons just be like white on gray is just really monotonous. So having some color in it is really nice.
Huh. Yeah, no, you're right. Did not even click. Did not even click. Oh, very interesting. Next up, we have Shadows of the Dam Hella Remastered launching October 31st. I think we've talked about this. Am I crazy?
Just a little bit. I don't think we had an announcement, a release date, just an announcement that was happening.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
But I'm happy this is happening. I might pick it up, but it's coming in pretty cheap actually, $25. That could be a good
$25 more than I wanted to pay for it.
But I'm happy that all of Suda's games are escaping the PS3.
26 more than what I wanted to pay for it. Yeah, I agree broadly.
Yeah.
Always good.
Only weird thing is that this is coming out like a month or two after Lollipop Chainsaw. So he's getting these remasters out pretty quickly.
Don't really know what to do with that info, but that is interesting. Next up, we have Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra. It's going to be published by Playon.
That sounds right. Playon sounds
correct. People got to stop just randomly shoving vowels together in words. It doesn't work. That's pretty much the announcement. Anything else of interest within this? Scanning. Actually, I don't know if we've talked about this.
I forgot to look up Playon beforehand, so I'm quickly doing that now.
Well, while you do that, in case you don't know anything about Marvel 1943, it's a narrative-driven ensemble adventure game featuring Captain America, Azuri, the Black Panther of the 1940s, Gabriel Jones of the Howling Commandos, and Nanali. Nanali. A Wakandan spy embedded in occupied Paris. So that'll be interesting. And crazily, Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as Doctor Doom and getting $80 million for this too.
It seems like they're a firm that owns Deep Silver and a bunch of other companies. So they've published things like the Saints Row games and Dead Island 2.
That's via Deep Silver though, right? Like I don't remember seeing play
through Deep Silver and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it says their parent organization is Embracer Group.
I was going to say, that would imply. Yeah, I was waiting for that there. Well, it was nice knowing you, Marvel's 1943.
I keep getting this one confused because I believe that EA is doing a Black Panther game. And Marvel 1940, and Marvel 1943 is a game about Captain America and Black Panther.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. Does it pique the interest? Can't say it's really piquing mine at the moment, but
no, that first trailer they showed off wasn't really interesting, but it was all story footage in that first trailer. I wanted to see what the game actually plays like.
Well, next up we have Harry Potter Quidditch Champions dropping a Welcome Students trailer.
Honk shoe.
Digital pre-orders are now available. Capitalizing on the success of Hogwarts Legacy, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think they're trying to. This is more of like the Warner Brothers trying to make a bit more money from anything. Because they did a bunch of playtests last year, and I downloaded the playtest and I opened it, and my computer caught fire. Who would have thought? Like a 8-year-old computer can't, fucking 8-year-old laptop, can't run this kind of stuff.
I wouldn't have even trusted it on a 4-year-old laptop.
Yeah, who asked? But But yeah, it's kind of interesting with this. Everybody's like been comparing it to like Rocket League type of thing. It kind of looks fun. There's like no Dev said there's no microtransactions within because it's priced at like 30 American dollars. Who knows, 45 Australian or whatever. It'd be interesting to kind of see how this game goes. It'll probably be one of those weird. I thought it was going to be a live service game, but they've announced like a single player campaign. So let's. I don't know. Maybe the nostalgia goggles are on because I played that Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup like fucking 20 years ago. And that's probably not a good game, but I had a good time at the time. So I guess that. This is a wait and see. This is a let's pick it up for $2 type of game. Maybe. I do not think it will sell well at all, though. I reckon this will fucking flop hard. If they're expecting another Hogwarts Legacy, they're fucking out of their mind. I'm done now.
Cool.
Thanks for listening.
Visions of Mana has a demo now available. Any interest?
I am just going to wait because I believe the demo is the opening of the game, and when it comes to those sort of things, I'm just like, yeah, no, I'll wait instead of playing the opening and then waiting a month to continue my progress. I'm also kind of already sold on the game, so I didn't need a demo, but it's nice knowing that it's out for people that want to give it a try.
Makes sense. Basically just quick firing through a bunch of these. Alien Hominid, Invasion and Alien Hominid HD coming to PS5 and PS4. This, I'll be honest, I'm surprised it's not already available on PS5 and PS4.
Yeah, they kind of stopped at the PS3 version of this game and they never upported it.
Yeah.
And Alien Hominid is something I absolutely adored.
When did this game come out initially?
Good question, because I believe the original version of it was like a Flash Newgrounds game.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is very much like Newgrounds era. Yeah, as you say, Flash
I know there was also a GameCube version of the game.
Oh, really?
2004.
I was going to guess like 08. I can't believe I guessed late.
The Newgrounds version of it was 2002.
Jeez. Oh well. It's currently available on Xbox, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. So soon Sony will enter the fray. Very funny that it runs on Switch, probably the only console with close enough hardware to 2004. Cool. Castle Crashers is getting DLC. This blew my mind to read this. It was like, what year are we living in that Castle Crashers is getting DLC?
It's also getting a facelift. Like, they're redoing all of the assets in the game, redrawing all of them.
I'm amazed. Like, Castle Crashers, again, that has a special place in my heart. It's just one of those fantastic pick it up for like a Friday with some mates type thing of just starting a bunch of new characters. You've all played the story, more times than you can count, so you just switch your brain off and unga bunga your way through some fun. But I'm glad that the article actually mentions that this is the first DLC for the game since Blacksmith and Pink Knight, because I could not think of if they added anything beyond Blacksmith and Pink Knight, and that was back in 2012. So, dusting off the cobwebs 12 years later, but really cool that I guess the developers think there'll be enough love for it that this is worthwhile for them.
Also enough love that people would be willing to make their own characters, which, they're correct. I'm waiting for someone to make Virgil in this game immediately.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's basically the news on that sense. But yeah, cool. Actually, quite excited. Probably will dust off Castle Crashers when this comes out, which I don't think they haven't announced.
What is Castle Crashers? I own it. I don't know what it is. I don't think I ever played it. I think I was brainwashed into buying it like 14 years ago or something.
You wouldn't like it as a beat 'em up.
Just before we get into that, do they have an announcement for when this is coming out? I don't think they do.
I will have to reopen that link because I just closed it.
Am I insane? I ended the trailer, perhaps? Unless it's like already available and this is them announcing that they've updated it, but I don't think that's the case.
Let me check the video description. No, nothing about when it's coming out.
Weird. Anyway, so Castle Crashers, real quick run through. It's a, what would you call it? It's basically like a platform beat 'em up.
Yeah, it's a beat 'em up game.
Yeah, but designed to be played with you and a couple mates. It started as a Newgrounds Flash game as well, I'm pretty sure. So it has that very classic Newgrounds Flashy art style. But you basically play a knight, and your whole thing is to go rescue a princess. And so you, and then preferably with a bunch of friends, because it's way more fun in multiplayer than it is solo, get to go basically run through a beat 'em up. A little like Cupheady in places as well. You got like some bosses that do bullet heli type things. From memory, it's been ages since I played this, but you can get through a run through in like a couple hours, I think. And so you're like
it's
leveling
also
up.
full of when did this game come out actually? 2012-ish?
2012 was the DLC, so my guess would be 11 or 10.
Yeah, it's also full of like Newgrounds humor from that era.
Yeah.
Just as a forewarning for when you see a deer shitting across the woods.
What an excellent core memory of my childhood, though.
2008.
Cool.
No, get fucked. It wasn't 2008.
That scares me.
August 27, 2008 on 360.
Jesus
Yeesh.
fucking Christ. Time flies. Time flies.
Anyway, it's a game that is probably chronically on sale on Steam. So if you don't own it, or to be honest, I think most of the planet probably does own it. But if you don't, chances are it'll be on sale in a Steam sale at some point. But play it with mates, as I say, really fun for like a crank it up for the evening type thing, and then leave it for another few months. But next up, Battle Block Theater, which
Same type of thing, right?
This one I
Same
never
type of
actually
thing.
finished, but
same. Okay, I've
did
never
play.
actually played this one.
I have played it. I didn't finish it. It's a fun game. This one's a puzzle platformer game they made.
I think I played this one. I don't know. It definitely rings a bell.
They also had a YouTuber as the narrator. I can't remember who they were, but it was fine from what I played. I just never got around to finishing it. But yeah, the announcement for this is that they're just doing an update that improves the graphics and improves the audio and fixes some bugs. It's kind of like just a quality of life update that they're doing for it.
Cool. Well, I mean, show some love, I guess. That's cool. Next up, Pit People, which again, similar kind of
Never
thing.
heard of this.
Stamper. Will Stamper was the voice actor for the narrator.
Don't know who that is.
At that time, he was a pretty big YouTuber.
Oh no. When did the old tweets come out?
Oh. Yeah, let's move on.
No way. Actually?
Actually,
Holy shit.
it wasn't tweets. It was the YouTuber thing.
Oh god. I can't believe he's done this. What the fuck is wrong with YouTubers? Anyway, Pit People, also getting a quality of life update, also a Newgrounds game that I've never played.
Yeah, no, I never played this one. I've seen it pop up a couple of times, but yeah, never got around to it. It seems like they're trying to sell it by bundling it with Castle Crashers these days. Because I looked up Castle Crashers and it's like, hey, for 22% off, you can buy the bundle of Castle Crashers and Pit People together.
Do you think that they only bundle those because they have alliteration in the names? Like Castle Crashers and Pit People, but they're not going to bundle Battle Block Theater with that because BT isn't alliteration.
They actually do have a bundle that's Battle Block Theater and Castle Crashers together.
Never mind, I will eat my entire ass and move on. What do we got next? We got some possible leaks for Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver remasters. don't think I'm familiar with this one.
This is an old PS1 action adventure game that I've been very interested in for a long time. Never really got around to getting them though. But seeing that there's a possible remaster coming around is really interesting to me. I'd hop on it day one.
Interesting. Okay.
Also, I believe this was Amy Hennig's introduction to the industry. Like, she wrote these games.
I see.
Just thought that was interesting to bring up since we were talking about her other game that she's writing before Marvel 1943.
Other game?
Right, yeah. Sorry, I'm just sort of flicking through it, but yeah, no, not familiar with this at all. But yeah, kind of interested, I guess. I'll have to wait and see if the leaks are in fact confirmed as true.
The leak is directly from Comic-Con, so I think it's going to happen because the way it got leaked was that they showed off some statues of the characters, and there was a plaque underneath them that said they're from Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered with a QR code. So they're like fully official nameplates and stuff, and then the day after these were posted online, they were removed. Like those nameplates were removed.
I see.
So yeah, so someone made a big oopsie with the marketing on this one.
Good to move on to Borderlands news.
Yeah, take it away.
Yes, please.
Love me some Borderlands news. Borderlands news this time is about Randy, good old Randy Pitchford, everyone's favorite.
Was he interviewed at Medieval Times?
No, they had to drag him away from the booth where he kept wet willying the voice actors. There's still a story that I just cannot believe is real. Talking about how the success of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands was bigger than the success of Borderlands 1, which, I'll be honest, it's hardly surprising given how big the Borderlands franchise is and that Wonderlands was a spin-off to the Borderlands franchise. But anyway, that's sort of besides the point. Point being that he has hinted that there's enough appetite for that style of game that there might be something more to build on, and there might be more to expect from the Wonderlands series in the future. Although part of the same article, they said what we sort of all suspected, which is that Borderlands 4, I hate the naming of this. Technically Borderlands 5, I guess, if you count the pre-sequel in there, but the next game that Gearbox is working on is a Borderlands game, which makes me excited and quietly nervous, given that I will probably end up buying it day one. I think I've learned my lesson is to not buy the DLC Season Pass day one, because holy shit am I still upset about how they handled Tiny Tina's DLC.
Big surprise, their big moneymaker is getting a sequel, and the very successful spin-off was so successful they'll also do a second one for that.
Yeah.
Do we reckon that this is going to come out in time with the movie?
Absolutely not. If it was, they would have already announced it, because the movie's like in a couple of days.
No, it's like out now, I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was in October. Holy shit.
No, I believe it's the first week of August.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Borderlands movie.
I believe it's August 8th.
You know what? You're probably right. I was looking at times for like today is Wednesday, but that was probably Wednesday next week, and I just blanked over the date change.
You're probably right. 8th of August in Australia.
Yeah, and I am so keen for that film. I'm so keen.
It looks like dog shit, man.
Yeah, that's the point. Not only does it look like dog shit, they had to reshoot parts of it. This film is going to be an absolute dumpster fire, and I'm so keen. I'm
going to wait till it comes out on a streaming service or something before I watch it. I'm not paying to go to the cinema.
You think a streaming service is going to buy this?
It'll end up on Netflix or something.
Yeah, from what's that? The shitty one, Tubi? That's not on Tubi.
Binge.
That's not on Binge is just the Australian one. It'll not up on fucking Channel 9 free day.
So the final thing that I'll say on Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is that there is, by all accounts, a fantastic mod for the game that completely overhauls the single player. which I've been meaning to try. I've just never gotten round to it. But that is interesting to me to take a look at some point. And to be honest, I'm not even sure if I've ended up checking out the remainder of the DLC, because I think I stopped at DLC 3 after how it was basically just reskinning the other two DLCs.
Yeah, like, you didn't like it. You were very angry at it. That's why you never buy DLC on release.
You know what? I've been hurt before. I'm willing to be hurt again. That's all I'll say.
Maybe you should learn.
Maybe I should. Speaking of learning, Helldivers 2, learning
the successful Sony live service game.
Yeah.
Funny how you have to differentiate that. Fucking hell, man.
Well, fun facts for the audience, because I forgot to put it in the news docket.
No, it's cool. This has become your show now.
Concord had its closed beta and its open beta, and the open beta had 8% less players than the closed beta did.
Oh, yeah. You might as well toss that one in. Yeah, that's crazy.
How was there a drop-off going from you had to pre-order the game to play it to so everyone can just play it now?
Not looking good.
Doesn't matter. It looks shit. Move on.
That's a surprising thing. Most people I've seen play it are actually like, yeah, no, the game feel is pretty good. Like, it's a fun shooter. It's just no one likes the character or the character design or the visual style of the game. Like, the fake Guardians of the Galaxy look for the game really is killing it. Anyway, Helldivers 2.
Yeah, Helldivers 2. They have announced the next major update, which is the Escalation of Freedom, and launching also in a week, basically a week from now. So maybe a day or two from when you're listening to this. Go and play it. Go and have fun. It's been described as the game's biggest update yet, and it adds new enemies, mission objectives, difficulty levels, and more.
Yeah, it looks like they're adding new maps to the game.
Yeah, did any of us actually get into Helldivers 2? I sort of missed the hype
yet.
train.
I was waiting for it to go on sale, but it didn't on the Steam sale. So I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to buy a bunch of other games that are cheap I'm interested in.
What about other game? Yeah, no, I've never... I'm not going to play this.
Okay, thanks for the honesty.
Unless it comes to Xbox, which it won't.
Man, Phil Spencer was really pissed off about this game not being on Xbox.
Here we go, Sony Cope. We get it. You think you?
No, he flat out said, "I don't know what they gained by not putting this game on Xbox." That's a literal quote from him.
Always has been.
But yeah, no, seeing that they're going to be doing a big update shows that they're like very invested in this game, so I'm happy for them. And I hope that they can like put out big updates like this on regular bases. Like, this is like 7 months after launch. If they continue on like a 6-7 month pace, I could see this game going really well for a long time.
Yeah. Right. Well, I guess we'll move on from that one. We have a trying to find the right tab. Yeah. So, we have Olympics ditching Mario and Sonic, which has been a staple of Mario and Sonic at the insert Olympic Games here. Instead, they're looking at exploring NFTs and esports, which is a wild headline to read in the year of our Lord 2024, but here we are.
The last Mario and Sonic game was released in 2019 or 2020, I believe. That was for the Tokyo ones. So I believe this decision came around that time, and boy, the Olympics going 4 years ago. No, we want to stop this so we can explore NFTs and esports when they were just starting to become big. And now that the Olympics are here, the NFTs are basically dead and worth less than dirt. It's very funny to see that blow up in their face.
Yeah. Can't say I'm too surprised. Hindsight's 2020. That's all I'll say. Which is funny because that was the last year that the game came out.
I don't know if
I don't
anyone
have-
was even really into the Mario and Sonic games anymore by the time they finished either, though.
I see that one's a weird one to me because for the Beijing 2008 games and the Vancouver 2010 games, really enjoyed playing them on DS of all things.
Yeah, no, I really liked
absolutely.
the Vancouver one, the Winter Olympics game that they did. I played that one on Wii, and that was a lot of fun, especially all the snowboarding mini games in that one.
Yeah.
Last one
Snowboarding
I
was
heard,
basically just Mario Kart.
yeah, last one I heard people were really into were the London ones, but that was 2012. So
Yeah.
Rio and Tokyo must have been kind of stinkers.
I'm
And
not
the
even sure if they
Sochi
did.
one.
Yeah, Sochi and Pyeongchang, I think. That's going to sound really bad if I get them mixed up. I'm pretty sure it's Pyeongchang 2018.
The ones that are listed are just Sochi 2014, Rio 2016, and Tokyo 2020. So they might have skipped 2018.
Maybe they did. Can I just double check that I'm not confusing North and South Korean cities?
I don't think you are. But yeah, man,
Pyeongchang. Okay.
that one that was,
No, we're good. We're good.
the Olympic Games one that was on the Wii when the Wii first came out, 2008, I think. Man, peak. They have not made a game as good as that since.
Well, the 2008 game, this is the Beijing one again. That on DS was, I think, the second fastest way to destroy your screen after playing Pokemon Rangers.
Yeah, no, I believe it. The tapping and the
I
screen
believe that as well.
swiping mini games were insane.
Yep. Very fun, though.
But yeah, I like the 2001, but I find that one to be a good base. And then the 2010 one came out, and that just improved on everything that was in the 28 one. And then I never played the ones after that.
Fair enough. Moving on. We have the Fable developer Playground Games has apparently opened a third studio.
Yeah,
They need to go
it's-
back to making Forza.
I need to just go making a fucking video game. Let's be fucking real here, fellas.
This is their last ditch attempt to go back to Forza. Actually, no, they just put
It's
out a Forza
interesting-
game, didn't they?
They put out
last year,
Forza
yeah.
Horizon 5. I want to say last year. It could have been 2 years ago. I'm so bad at guessing when Forza games come out.
Wait, is
It
Playground
was 2 years ago because I played it. Hang on. Forza
yeah, they do
Motorsport
Forza
came out
Horizon.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
There was a
I'm
Motorsport
confusing them
game
with
that came
Turn
out last
10.
year. I thought you were. Yeah. Yeah, so Playground does the Horizon games, and I think it was 2022 when Horizon 5 came out, which is the Mexican one. And then Forza Motorsport is the Turn 10 one, and that came out last year, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah,
that
anyway, so
tracks. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, they've opened up a third studio. This it's kind of like a so what type of things. Like, what does this mean? And really know about this because of it's from fucking LinkedIn, everyone's favorite way to get gaming news. Does that mean they're going to do like a weird spin-off thing related to Fable, related to Forza, a weird third game that hasn't been announced yet? Who can say?
Silksong.
I can't.
It could just be a support
There is no
studio
Silksong,
as
man.
well to help with the other two games.
It could be a studio to help Activision Blizzard with Call of Duty. Could be a million things. I just like speculating on things. It could be where they put all the developers that have unionized. Put them here.
Rough.
That wasn't funny. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that isn't on the docket. I forgot that happened in between episodes.
Nah, we can skip it. It's probably fine.
You just want to toss it in now? What is it?
Hold on.
Activision Blizzard have like
Yeah,
unionized.
do the next article while I grab this one.
Well, speaking
No,
of
let's just sit here in
Activision
silence.
Blizzard, a study by Activision suggests that if they remove skill-based matchmaking, it'll lead to a drop in players. Which isn't this the biggest no shit Sherlock moment? Like, am I crazy? Which part of this should be?
It is, and from my understanding and from being terminally online, there were a bunch of people that said that skill-based matchmaking doesn't work because like it should just be like a randomized. You should be playing with people in your.
It's extremely
rank.
competent players being upset that they're being put against other extremely competent players when they want to stream stomping people that don't know how to play.
Yeah, like, you want to keep winning, and the best way to keep winning is to play shit players. So when it pairs you up against a good player and you actually have to try, they're like, "What do you mean? I shouldn't have to try." It's also very interesting as well when I saw this on Twitter, and I think even in the comments of this Video Games Chronicle article, people are having a bit of a whinge. It's like, oh, they did like a testing experiment on their users that have paid for the game without their consent. To which I say, fuck, this shit happens all the time, man. Very, very funny that like people are having a whinge about this. But
it's not even an experiment, but they just have this data and then they can go, oh, hey, this kind of happened when we did this.
Yeah, and they need to know this kind of stuff as well. Like they need like literature articles and that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyway, yeah. But I just think this is very interesting. So if there are any sweaty esports players listening out there, and you think you don't like skills-based matchmaking, well, my question to you is this: you're not very good.
Yeah. Have you tried getting good?
The only way you can keep winning is to legitimately keep winning. And if you become the best player, therefore you can't stop winning. So.
Well, if you become the best player, then therefore everyone that you play against you will be able to crush because they won't be as good as you, and then you'll finally get your top 10 anime betrayals, watchmojo.com moments for your Twitch stream.
Top 10 anime betrayals. Yeah.
I said what I said.
Man doesn't even watch
Did
anime.
you find the Union piece, Seth, or are we moving to the next one?
I did. It's we can hit it after the Microsoft FTC part.
Okay. Well, in that case, it wouldn't be a new section without a layoff. And Humble Games is the one this time, laying off some staff in a restructuring effort. And holy shit, the number of times that I see the full statement including, this decision was not made lightly. We have made the difficult but necessary decision to restructure our operations. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm glad that it wasn't a decision made lightly. That gives so much comfort to the developers that no longer have jobs.
I don't think it gave comfort for them because they went on a tirade on LinkedIn afterwards to say what really happened.
It was just a mess.
So what really happened is that Ziff Davis, the parent company to Humble Games, is trying to spread the idea that it's restructuring to save face, but they actually just fully laid off the entirety of Humble Games, and no one there has survived, and they won't be involved with any more game launches moving forward. And the reason for this is because games take time to develop, and that means that investors didn't want to wait for their return on investment because they want return on investment right away. They don't want to wait 3 years for a game to come out. So they just pulled out and closed down the publishing arm of Humble Games.
God, I love living in 2024. According to the former creative lead, Chris Radley, who left at the end of 2022 but posted on LinkedIn, he said operations have been handed off to a third-party consultancy. No staff are left. Do not believe this tailored message written by the parent company of Humble Games, Ziff Davis, who are trying to mitigate pushback. This was once again a failure of leadership across the board, and once again, hardworking, talented staff are paying the cost for their poor decisions. Every ex-employee is being gaslit by this narrative, and it's so disrespectful. Goddamn, all I have to say.
Absolutely grim. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real shit situation. Heart goes out to everyone that lost their jobs there.
Yeah.
I thought Humble Games is like a good studio, like a friendly studio.
Was.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. The capitalist machine comes for us all. You get that bit on the big jobs, but I don't know what else to say, so I'm just being awkward about it. Can we move on, please?
Yes, we can. We can move on to...
They published Temtem Showdown.
I didn't care for Temtem Showdown. I didn't like that game.
Okay. You wanna elaborate on that, or just
so you're saying they deserve to be shut down?
I talked. No, it's not what I said.
Okay. Well, you might not have said it, but Bethesda has said that it's become the first Microsoft game studio to fully unionize.
Just like they invented Doom.
Yeah, Seth. Just like they invented Doom. Union was confirmed after 241 developers either signed a union authorization card or indicated that they wanted unionization, which this is a pretty big milestone.
Yeah, no, this is huge, and I'm happy that they're unionizing. Like, the working conditions for game developers over in the US are absolutely horrid. So, unions making waves over there is always a big plus.
But if they're in a union, then they're going to charge more for the games, and then I won't be able to buy the games because they'll be more expensive.
Patrick,
Their
games don't sell because they're on Game Pass.
Whoa, hey, let's not say things you don't mean. Whoops, I dropped my phone. That was going to be great for audio content. Let's not say things you don't mean. Actually, that's probably true. They don't sell, but that doesn't mean they're not good games.
I didn't say that. I just said their games don't sell because they're on Game Pass. I never indicated anything about quality.
I said they're not good games.
I thought, yeah.
Starfield.
So what you're trying to say is the acquisition was good.
We're going to move on.
Yeah, sure. Corporate consolidation has never led to anything bad.
They were allowed to unionize. If they weren't allowed to, look, I'm just saying. Microsoft didn't buy them out. They might not have unionized. I'm just saying. We just got to look at the positive.
Hey, I'm just asking questions.
I'm just saying. Just saying some things.
Just do your own research. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll send you a couple of YouTube videos.
The Bethesda Union Iceberg explained.
You heard of this guy called Joe Rogan?
And finally, on the docket for this week, video game voice actors going on strike over AI.
We had one more before this that you skipped over. Microsoft responding to FTC's Game Pass price hike thing.
Oh, shit. No, you're right. I did have that open. I think I closed it accidentally when I tried to shut off another tab. Too many tabs open. Yep, we're going to hit this one first because it's related to Microsoft still. Arguing its game price hike is actually a good deal for gamers because the new cheapest tier includes multiplayer.
Yeah, and Microsoft has come out and said this
because the price of Game Pass.
Microsoft has come out and said this because the FTC is submitting a file case against Microsoft because when they did their original run against them, they said, "Hey, they said acquiring Activision would incentivize them to raise the price of Game Pass," and Microsoft said, "Nah." And so now that they've acquired,
pinky promise.
Now that they've acquired Activision, they've increased the price of Microsoft, and the FTC is filing a submission against them, and Microsoft is still going, "Nah, it wasn't because of Activision; it was because of the economy."
It's because of the values and the deals and the dollars, the dollary dues.
The shareholder value isn't as high as what it could be. To be honest, look, knowing all we know about Microsoft, I don't know why the FTC is bothering. Microsoft seems to be shooting themselves in the foot quite easily with this, just without with the closing of numerous game studios and
the FTC needs to do this to try and keep them in line, sort of thing.
At least pretend they've got power, right?
Yeah.
They've got to at least pretend. They've got to go through the song and the dance. Well, all the best to them. Go with Christ. Good chat.
Cool. Good to move on to the last one now.
Yeah, sure.
Perhaps. Oh, thank you. As our beautiful host said about 2 minutes ago, video game voice actors are going on a strike over AI. Thanks, previous Patrick. No worries, Patrick.
It's actually it's Al, not AI. It's Al. It's a lowercase L, not an uppercase I.
Okay. What do you want to do with that? Take the ball and run with it. See where it goes.
You should copy and paste that in a different font just to see.
The only L that is being taken here is the one by Steve currently.
But yeah, apparently, in the talkings of what was going on, both parties were agreeing that we're AI. We shouldn't do AI to mimic voice actors' voices because that'll infringe on their rights and yada yada yada. But it's just that video game companies didn't want to sign a contract, even though verbally they were agreeing. It's we're not going to do it, but we're not going to sign that we won't do it.
Well, the problem is they're going to strike, and then that's going to push up the cost of development, and then I'm going to end up having to pay more for video games. So,
it's not going to push up the cost of development. It's going to push back video games, which means GTA 6 is going to get delayed. And how dare they delay GTA 6?
Exactly. I want my video game now.
We got AI actors going on. Hang on, look. We're not getting GTA 6. It'll come out right when Silksong comes out.
But no, like on an actual serious note, I'm glad this is happening. Grab their dicks and twist them, strikers. Give them the old dick twist.
Give them the old dick twist.
What a weird way to phrase that. Everything all right? You know what? Let's keep going.
I've been in the Edge Cave too long. I need to go back to Lagoon 1.
Fuck off.
Steve, there's room in yours, right? Seth can just slide on in.
You got to get off the internet, both of you. You both got to get off the internet. You just got to go outside.
To get to the Lagoon Cave, I have to touch grass.
That's it. I'm casting testicular torsion. Testiculate this.
Spells don't work in Seth's Goon Cave.
Gross. I heard that the Goon Cave was actually painted black. When you go in there, it's very white.
And then you bring one of those like UV lights, and shit just looks like a Christmas tree.
But yeah, to get back on topic, I will quote this article. The game makers in negotiation with the union say they've already offered meaningful AI protections that include requiring consent and fair compensation, with terms that are among the strongest in the entertainment industry.
Among us.
But the union disagrees. Although agreements have been reached on many issues important to SAG-AFTRA members, the employers refuse to plainly affirm in clear and enforceable language that they will protect all performers covered by this contract in their AI language. So basically, video game makers are being coy about whether they're going to protect their voice actors or not from AI.
Well, they're not, right? Because if they were, they would have just signed the fucking paper.
Yeah, no, they just want to get by on a verbal agreement.
Yeah.
Which isn't going to hold up in court.
What do you mean? You love a verbal agreement. Like a big corporation never rescinds on a verbal agreement.
What? So, Steve, what you're saying is that Microsoft should buy them out?
Look, I didn't say it. You said it.
No, he said you said that. Union. He is plainly putting the words in your mouth.
Is that a goon joke? What's going on?
It can be if you want it to be.
You know what? Sound us out, Pat.
No, what I want it to be is over, and luckily the news section is. So I would say thank you to you both again for the news section. You know what? No thanks. I take it back. I want to refund the 80 minutes that I just spent slamming my head through a list of articles. But
look. In my defense, those are all sex articles.
In my defense, the Yakuza one took too long.
No, it didn't.
both of you have valid points. Equally valid. We'll let the audience decide who's right. Let us know down in the comments below. And you know what? While you're there, give us a little cheeky tickle on that subscribe button, or whatever other platform that you listen to this on. And if there's something you want us to talk about, get in touch. We're on Facebook at Fast Travel Lounge, Blue Sky at fasttravellounge.bluesky.social, and X, formerly Twitter, at Fast Travel Lounge -1 of the L's, and of course, good old mailbag, fasttravellounge@gmail.com. We're basically at the end of episode 117. Anything you want to tease for 118? I guess Dungeons of Hinterland or whatever you were going to talk about, Steve. That's
Dungeons of Hinterberg. Come on, man.
Yeah, no, that's what I said.
Oh, yeah. SummerSlam is this week. I'll talk about wrestling next time.
Oh, boy.
Don't think you should do that. Maybe get a wrestling podcast, big fella. Maybe on Fast Travel Wrestlers or Fast Wrestling Lounge.
Any other podcast names you want to throw out? You know what? We'll workshop it. Anyway, that brings us to the end of episode 117. Thank you so much for listening. I've been Pat. I'm joined by Seth and Steve, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Happy birthday,
Happy
unions.
birthday, Seth Schooncade.